I think, ma'am, can we start now, Patil ma'am?
Yes, I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Because to maintain just the time so that you can get more time, no? Actually, if you start on time, no?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So good morning, everyone. So we have reached at the end of the day, end of the fifth day of 5 days faculty development program organized by Mahila Mahavidyalay and SN More College of Arts, Commerce and GD Sarab Science College, Tumsar. I welcome you all. Today, we have with us very eminent personality from the field of academics. She's none other than Dr. Jyoti Patil. I welcome you, ma'am, on this virtual platform. And for formal introduction of Dr. Jyoti Patil, I invite Dr. Rashtrapal Gandhir. Thank you. Over to Rashtrapal Gandhir, sir.
मॅडम आवाज येतोय माझा?
हो हो.
ओके. Welcome to the five-day faculty development program jointly organized by Mahila Mahavidyalay Nagpur and SN More Arts and Commerce College and Shrimati GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar. Convener of this program, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Principal, Mahila Mahavidyalay Nagpur, and Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir, Principal, SN More Arts and Commerce College, and Shrimati JD Saraf Science College, Tumsar. Coordinators of this program, Dr. Sampada Nasiri Madam, Dr. Bharti Kathegay Madam, and all the participants. In today's first session, Dr. Jyoti Patil will give guidance on the topic of role of value education for holistic development of students. I will introduce her briefly. Madam has been working in the field of education for 30 years and is currently working as the principal of Renuka College, Nagpur. She has guided the academic staff college of RTM Nagpur University and SGB Amravati University as a research person and has also served as a NAAC assessor. Madam has worked as a reviewer for several international journals. She has also served as an executive member of the Indian College Principals Association. Madam has guided in various national and international conferences, seminars, and workshops as keynote speakers, plenary session expert, and chairman. She has received many awards like Adarshi Shikshak Puraskar in 2009, Indrani Jagjeevan Ram National Honor Medal in 2010, State Level Shikshak Ratna Award in 2011, Mani Ratna Shiksha Gaurav Award in 2011, World Environment Educational Award in 2012, and Devi Ahilya Smriti National Award in 2015. Madam has also written 10 books. She has published about 45 poems. Her chapters have been published in 25 books. 105 research papers have been published in various journals. She has been selected as the best paper presenter in 4 international conferences. Besides, she has played kho-kho, hockey, athletics, cricket, and volleyball at various levels. Such a multifaceted and versatile personality we have today. So I request Madam to give guidance. Thank you, Madam.
Yeah. Thank you, Kanveer sir. Thank you, Kanveer sir. And at the outset, I should extend my thanks first of all to Bharti Katekhai madam who contacted me first, And then Sampada Nasiri madam talked at length yesterday. I was so happy to hear, to listen to things and the way you have organized this wonderful faculty development program. So today is the last day and you have given me a very challenging topic. I don't think that people must be really interested in this because moral teaching people generally don't like. Yeah. Am I sharing my screen? It will take perhaps 1 or 2 minutes to share. Am I sharing my screen? It's visible to
Yes,
you
it
all?
is visible, ma'am. It is, you have shared. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is really a very challenging task. Most of you think that, yes, it's quite boring to listen to value education. And the topic is assigned to me. It has not been decided by me. The role of value education for the holistic development of students, quite scary for most of us. Education gives us knowledge of the world around us and change it into something better. It develops in us a perspective of looking at life. It helps us build opinions and have point of view on things in life. Swami Vivekananda always emphasized on character building with value education. He said, character of a man is the sum total of the bent of his mind. We are what our thoughts made us. Value education in HE, higher education, is a precondition for holistic development. What's holistic development? It means a long run development and all round development which accepts the responsibility for the well being of future generations. Without a moral foundation, no affirmative attitude towards holistic development can be fruitful. In paradigm of Siksha, we often talk about Ku-Siksha and Su-Siksha. According to the concept of moral education, a person's character is the most valuable thing he owes. You see, first, I always used to share this with people whenever I have this kind of a talk. India has one of the largest higher education system in the world, the robust one. Over the last 2 decades, India has remarkably transformed its higher education landscape. It has created widespread access to low-cost, high-quality university education for students of all levels. Therefore, the Indians are riding the new wave for the personalities that stride the corridors of power, whether in Silicon Valley, Washington, D.C., or Whitehall. India is the single largest provider of global talent. Can you imagine? This, which one in four graduates in the world being a product of Indian system. So we should be proud of it. Okay. Satya Nadella, CEO Microsoft, Shantanu Narayan, Chairman, President, CEO, Adobe Assistant, Nikki Haley, US Ambassador to the UN, Ajit Pai, Chairman, US Federal Communications Commission, Dr. Leo Varadkar, Prime Minister Ireland, so very proud of him. Indira Nui, Chairman and CEO of PepsiCo, Sundar Pichai, Google Inc. CEO, and yeah, and then you have Kamala Harris, Vice President, United States. Recently, she got elected. Rishi Sunak, MP Conservative, Britain, and he's also son-in-law of Narayan Murthy. Ajay Banga, President CEO MasterCard. Preeti Patel, Britain's Home Secretary, and the list is not complete here. Other Indians holding key positions in IT joins as Sanjay Jha, Global Foundries, Padamshri Warrior, Cisco, Sanjay Mehrotra, SanDisk, Nikesh Arora, Google, Abhi Talwalkar, LSI, Rajiv Suri, Nokia Solutions and Network. So really, we should feel proud of these personality and see if our education system is weak, how could we have this kind of a position? So now let us compare two things. Again, be proud. This Gurukul system is world's first education system. So again, we should feel pride for it. Okay, it was a residential schooling system that is ashramas whose origin dates back to around 50,000 BC in the Indian subcontinent. It was more prevalent during the Vedic age, where students were taught various subjects and about how to live a cultured and disciplined life. And now we will contrast it. Here it is written 2019, but now 20 and 21. So we have already got over the 2 decades of 21st century. Let us understand our ancient education system. In ancient India, both formal and informal ways of education system existed. Formal and informal. Okay, some people study at home and some people they go for these options. Indigenous education was imparted at home in temples, in parshalas, in tolls, in chatushpadis and gurukuls. Okay, and temples were also the centers of learning that took interest in the promotion of knowledge of our ancient system. Ancient Indian education was dominated by strict moral codes of conduct. Moral codes of conduct, mind it. Discipline was free, but it was to be followed. Self-reverence, self-knowledge, self-control, these three alone can lead life to sovereign power. It was a strong belief of our ancestors who used to stick to Gurukula system. Knowledge was imparted in two ways. That was Paravidya and Aparavidya. Paravidya, the knowledge of the Supreme Self. And Aparavidya means the knowledge of the four Vedas and six Vedants. The system of education was intimately connected with the social structure. The ultimate aim of education was the complete realization of self. Ancient education system was individualized, not institutionalized, minded. So individual attention was given to the students during that time. In ancient India, education was for education's sake, okay, not for examination or getting a job. Education was all around, that is complete or total development of personality, intellectual, social, moral, okay, and we used to follow the method of study was just like we have four skills in English. We used to talk about four skill that is LRSW, that is listening, reading, then speaking and writing. We have Shravana, listening to the teacher, Manana, that is reflection on what we listen to. Then Nididhyasana, constant repetition of the subject of study. And Paryatana, that is traveling, was regarded as necessary to complete the education. So you see such a kind of a complete, you can say, this is really called the holistic approach. So we had that holistic approach in the past. Education in ancient India was regarded as a religious duty and intimately connected with some rituals or ceremonies like Vidyarambha, Upanayana, Utsarjana, Samvardhana, etc. The aim of education in ancient India was to develop both the body and the mind. It intended to develop sound mind in sound body. You have to be healthier and then you have to be sharp. Education was both spiritualistic and materialistic. Moral upliftment was a cherished goal of our ancient education. And you see, the place of education used to be forest, which was far from the merry crowd or ignoble strife. The ancient rishis at the earliest schools in their hermitage and ashrams in the forest. The home of the teacher used to be the schools for students. Strict celibacy has to be observed during 12 years of education. So they used to have 12 years of education and celibacy is to be maintained. You know, now these days we talked about sex education, but Ramdev Baba says it's better to talk about yoga shiksha in place of talking yona shiksha. Okay, ashramas in Hinduism is one of the four age-based life stages. We all know brahmacharya, student life, grihastha ashram, that is householder's life, vanaprastha, that is retired life, and sannyasi, oh, that is a renounced life. So 25 years for students, 25 years as grihastha, 25 years for vanaprastha, and after 25, 75 years you can have a total life of a recluse. So this was a wonderful system we had in the past. And in the past, again, I will give you something to be very proud of, that do you know that we have 16 ancient universities in India, and these universities were renowned. People from all over the world come to study in these universities. They were from 3600 plus years ago. Can you imagine? Now we talk about Oxford and Cambridge, and we really feel proud if we go and study over there. But Indians used to be very proud, since they have 16 universities like Takshila, Mithila, Telhara, Nalanda, Shardapeeth, Vallabha, Pushpagiri, Odanpuri, then Vikramshila, Somapura, Vikramapur, and Morana Golden Triangle, some of, to name some few. So don't you think that we had really glorious past? But see, the things are getting changed. Now we have positive viewpoint and negative viewpoint. And you see, everything depends as we see to it. We look at the things. Good, good thoughts should be preserved, to be kept, but bad thoughts to shed out. Okay. Now let's see what we can do. Do we want to have a class like this where students are not responding, just putting their head down, or like this? No, or you want a teacher to be like this? You want to be getting relaxed, reclined, paying no attention, keeping a nice fancy hat on your head, okay? Not even like him, yarning and telling students to read this chapter and this para and these lines, okay? Not like him, boring. When he's teaching, the students are feeling drowsy, okay? We want our class like this, vigilant, everybody is awake, enjoying your class, or like this, everybody is ready to answer, okay, or like this, listening and participating, okay, or taking interest like this teacher. We want teachers like him, okay, and like her, where everybody is participating, and ultimately we want to become smart teacher or smart communicator, or you can call facilitator, okay. So we want to become one. Some critics said that modern life is based on science and technology. Now is the life of science and technology. We talk about this, the Zen next, Gen Z. Okay, both are value neutral. But they say science and technology, they have nothing to do with value. They're value neutrals. Okay, according to them, values are outdated religious principles and have no relevance in 21st century. Do you think so? Now, let's see. I don't think so. If you want to survive the global competition, you have to improve the quality of your services. You have to bring changes in your work culture. You have to rework on your educational model and to add value to every aspects of your life as service. It's important that innovations and transformations should be followed. And that is the answer. So we have to do something new. We have to transform. And generally we used to talk, Alvin Toffler has said that we have to learn, we have to unlearn, and we have to relearn. So that is the way. Even at this age, I can't say that I know everything. I am still a learner. You see, when we talk about learning or holistic development, let me talk about this learning pyramid. I don't made it. The scientists made it, and the average students' retention. It is our retention, because we are also students. Lecture method is quite ineffective, and just you go down 10%, 20%, 30%, 50% discussion, 75% practice, and 90% when you teach others. So now I'm getting 90% and you are getting less than 10%. That's not okay. And holistic development essentially means the development of intellectual, mental, physical, emotional, and social abilities in a student, so that he or she is capable of facing the demands and challenges of everyday life. So we also talk about IQ, intellectual quotient. Okay. Now these days we talk about EQ, emotional quotient, and moreover we talk about social quotient. These days you see loneliness is a problem. So social quotient is very important. We are all social animals, and for this we have to be connected. We have to be closely connected, and these abilities are vitally important for success in professional fields of work. Mohajir, who has studied in 2005, has the opinion that Indian education system has lost its direction by imparting considerable volume of haphazardly organized information. Indian education system बहुत ही ज्यादा भर भर के नॉलेज केवल देते हैं और कुछ नहीं. A sizable portion of which is either redundant and obsolete, और जिसमें से आधी सी चीजें ज्यादा या फिर 90% चीजें कोई उपयोग में नहीं आती. I have actually narrated some story long back, and it was that one boy went to the teacher. What 99% you have taught, that was all redundant and absolute. It's nothing to do with my practical job. Return my fees, school fees or college fees. So this is the situation today. But let's see, in the present era of globalization, we are now going towards globalization these days. Globalization नहीं, हमको local भी बनना है और global को भी रखना है. So we have to keep a balance, okay? Vocal for local. When pressure of competitions becomes enormous in society, the material education often welcomes different degrees of demoralizations, both in public and private life. Okay? So demoralizations are so many. हम बहुत जल्दी डिमोरलाइज हो जाते हैं, बहुत सारे, क्योंकि कॉम्पिटिशंस है, बहुत सारी चीजें. ग्लोबलाइजेशन के एरा में हमको बहुत सारी चीजों से आगे बढ़ना है लोगों से. देन द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ द मॉडर्न सेक्युलर वैल्यूज दैट इन्वॉल्व caring and kind, respect to others, doing your best, being a responsible citizen, friendly and understanding, honest and fair, helpful and trustworthy, etc., all needed to mend our ways. So we need it badly now. Okay, you understand it. All the HEIs, higher education institute, should be more cautious while implementing values so that it can match with the particular objective of that particular institute. Some autonomy needs to be given to the individual institutions for designing its own way of imparting values. और इसके लिए कुछ प्लान हमको करना पड़ेगा. So these kinds of values should be inculcated in our students and even in us. Let us see the values we need. Okay. This is a list, and you showing charts, it becomes quite not so encouraging. But the list of specific values, then enhancing values, human qualities, and educational activities you can pursue. Aesthetic value, kindness, compassion, helping nature. You can have fine arts, paintings, music, elocution, recitation, so many things, and we are doing it. It's not that we are not doing it. Spiritual values, understanding the ultimate truth, meaning of life. Here you can have games and sports, yoga and meditation, moral and ethical values, honesty, integrity. That's really very important. Self-reliance, discipline. Okay, so curriculum, this is our area where curriculum is to be modified to add these values. Okay, we can have NCC and NSS. They are effectively organized. Okay, social values, responsibilities, honesty, integrity, self-control, self-reliance. Discipline is very important. Social responsibilities inculcated with various social cultural activities, excursion, where you study trips, national days and birthdays. You must have gone through the next demand these days. They also talk about national days or birthdays of leaders, great leaders, and celebrated meaningfully. Environment and hygiene awareness. If saving the future generation is the major motto of holistic development, then inculcation of value education is highly required from the stage of adolescence of an individual. कॉलेज में ही नहीं, ये तो स्कूल से ही शुरू होना चाहिए. स्कूल से फिर आप जब बढ़ते हैं, and but it should also be retained in college education. Value education is a much debated and discussed topic in the plethora of education in India. But more emphasis on value education is given at primary and secondary, which I've just talked about. Okay, secondary level education rather than in higher education in India. This is the reason of prioritization of my issues. So I have chosen this, the role of value education in higher education institute. Okay, without value education, the higher education it will become lopsided. Okay, and we all crave for responsible citizens for the state. We want all our students to become responsible citizens. Hence, if holistic development is the prime objective of all the individuals, across the nations in the 21st century. We have already passed 2 decades. Then the precondition would be introduction of value education in higher education institutes, where corruption becomes rampant, economy is crippled, we have no innate respect and love for our country. Then we have to revamp the value education program, considering responsibility, share and care, doing your best, respecting other, freedom, honesty, trust, understanding, reuse and recycle, and forgiveness, etc. Okay, the learning list is endless, but there are some glaring questions too. Let's see these questions which we face. If value education is to be included, okay, in education system, what sort of value should be given preference in the curriculum? So we have to sort out what kind of value education we will prefer for our education system. What is the importance to be given to the religious values, which are primarily developed on the basis of scriptures? मेरे धर्म की शिक्षा देना है कि उनके धर्म की शिक्षा देना है? So we have many in India we have quite number of options to follow. So we have to again think about it. Are the values alone sufficient enough, or is there any possibility of blending? That means mixing the value of modernity with religious value. क्या हम religious value को modern values के साथ mix करके परोसे, mix करके apply करें so that students will listen to you? Okay, if religious values are to be given importance, which religion will find prime place? कौन से religion का हम teaching करें? If there are any contradictory propagation on a single virtue by 2 religions, how the reconciliation can be done? Okay, यदि दो religion का करना भी है तो कौन से religion का क्या लेना है? Again, there will be a challenge. Okay, and there may be differences in perceptions of values regarding eating pattern, dressing mode, marriage system, war tactics across all the religions. Then what sort of perceptions need to be taught? So perception is another problem that we are facing here when we want to apply value education. But the perception we generally used to have about ourselves in the form of self-appraisal, just a joke. Okay. Now, what would be the effective methodology of imparting these values in higher education system? What would be then? It will be okay. However, irrespective of whether there is a scheme of value education, an adolescent individual will be growing imbibed with some values. जब बच्चा बड़ा होता है तभी उसमें वैल्यूज सारी आ जानी चाहिए, सारी टीचिंग्स उसके मन में पक्की बैठ जानी चाहिए कि मुझे सच ही बोलना है, मुझे सही रास्ता अपनाना है. Value-based education, okay, will have then role play, enhancement of oratorial skills, then personality development, field trips, hands-on activities, theme-based learning. These effective methodology, we can, etc., can be used, can be followed properly, okay. And then you can find value cannot be separately taught. It is already there. It's a part and parcel of our life. No individual can grow in vacuum. Every individual has before him some positive or some negative values. If at the learning stage some positive values are not introduced, the learners will pick up the unhealthy ones. गलत बात सिखाएंगे बच्चों को तो वो गलत ही सीखते जाएंगे, और घर में ज्यादातर बच्चे गलत बातें सीख जाते हैं. And that's the reason why we face so many crises nowadays. Connecting character development in students to individual and collective well-being will shape the values and attitude of the society in which they live. So, कैरेक्टर बिल्डिंग करना बहुत जरूरी है. हमको बताना पड़ेगा कि क्या चीजें बुरी हैं. ओके, किक मारना, लोगों को कमेंट करना, टॉन्ट करना, आराम फरमाते रहना, लड़ते रहना, फाइटिंग, ओके, irritating, shouting, becoming angry and not sharing. But these feelings are, these characters are more important, that you love, you share, you help, okay, and you show your feelings. So that's very important that these things should be inculcated. And the very important thing is to teach them kindness, teamwork. Helping hands are better than praying lips. Mother Teresa has said so. That's really true. And you see, when we talk about the teamwork, I want to chant साथी हाथ बढ़ाना एक अकेला थक जाएगा मिलकर कदम बढ़ाना. So teamwork is very, very important, and this is something we really like to have. Yeah, and see how it is making impossible possible. Okay. And then you have two areas, greed and selfishness here, okay, and on the other hand, helping hands. So you can tell them, assist them, help them, support them, advise them the solution, which one is better and how it is better to be living in positive thoughts and positive attitudes. For that, we have one quality, empathy. Okay, even when you disagree with the employer, actually, empathy means the power of understanding and imaginatively entering into other person's feeling. जब हम दूसरों को समझते हैं उनकी जगह रह के, that is empathy. Identification with the understanding of another situation, feelings, and motives. Okay, and even when you disagree with your employer, with your students, with your colleague, okay, or employee, it is important for you to understand and respect their point of view. हमेशा झगड़ना या argumentative होना is not really good. Understand their position. That's very important. Using phrases as simple as I understand where you are coming from. I understand your point of view. इतना भी बोलने से that demonstrate that you have been listening to other person and respect their opinion. So these are certain things, and friendliness is very important. Through a friendly tone, a personal question, or simply a smile, you will encourage your co-workers to engage in open and honest communication with you. गुस्से में भरे रहेंगे पूरे समय तो कोई बात करने के लिए भी डरेगा, स्टूडेंट भी नहीं आएंगे. This is important in both face-to-face and written communication. When you can personalize your emails or to co-workers or employees or your students, you can just write something. I hope you all had a good weekend. ऐसा यदि आप लिख देते हैं before sending some message at the start of an email, it can personalize your message and it will make the recipient feel more appreciated. It's very important these days. Interpersonal skills are being taught for being open, okay, understanding, and having intimate relationships. Okay. People will be more open to communicating with you if you convey respect to them and their ideas. It's very important. You see, it is reciprocal. जितना आप आदर करेंगे उतना ही आदर आपको मिलेगा. Simple actions like using a person's name, making eye contact, actively listening when a person speaks will make the person feel appreciated. Even on phone, avoid distraction, stay focused on conversation. फोन पे भी बात कर रहे हैं, खाना भी बना रहे हैं या कुछ और काम कर रहे हैं, and doing so many things, multitasking. So that is not really appreciated. Okay, there should be coordination of such activities such as taking care of safety, health, environment. Okay, all these through quality education. So quality, when we talk about, that clicks in our mind, okay, which will make our students become responsible citizens. So we have to coordinate all these things. Now, knowledge and moral values go hand in hand. Moral education focuses on the topic of citizenship education, personality development, spiritual development, character development, and basic human duties. Value education not only covers the future of the student, but also add a purpose to their life. So you can see two pictures and you can see, you can choose which one is really correct. Helping hand or in being innovative as well. Value education imbibes a sense of discipline and responsibility among students. It makes abide by the rules and regulations of their college and fulfill their responsibilities. जो भी नियम कानून बनाते हैं वो तोड़ने के लिए नहीं बल्कि उनको follow करने के लिए. That is important, and they should volunteer. They should come forward to help others, to work. That is important again, and they should not complain that this is not there. It rained so heavily. You see the kind of dedication and devotion you should have. This is called value education. Okay, these two children are totally submerged in water, but still they are performing their patriotic duty. Okay, help others. This is very important. Every human must possess a helping nature. However, due to the ever-increasing competition in the world, आजकल तो MBA में सिखाते हैं मदद नहीं करो, सीढ़ियां चढ़ने के बाद जिसने आपका मदद किया उस सीढ़ियां ढकेल दो या उसको गिरा दो. Okay, this kind of a moral teaching, if we are giving, where we are going, where we are heading to, okay, the student tend to become selfish and do not help other students, and ultimately, then you have problems. When you grow old, there will be nobody to take care of you. So value education can teach them to be helpful, by explaining to them the happiness one feels to be a helping hand, the happiness, the joy you get when even the creature knows how to help each other. So why not we? Confidence to ask queries to their respective teacher group, teachers. Group discussions on topics other than the usual curriculum make the students feel more active and confident. Their intellectual level and inquiry skills are uplifted, which motivates them to approach the teachers and ask queries to class to clarify their doubts. So students should not get scared कि अभी पूछेंगे तो सर डांट देंगे या डर के जाए नहीं. They should feel confident enough to approach you, to ask you. You should have this kind of a rapport. This is very important. So even keeping mind healthy, development of healthy mind, that is our ancient Indian education system, providing more knowledge keeps the mind of the students focused on more important things in life rather than random baggage of information. So education is important, but
You are not audible, ma'am. Hello. Hello.
Madam, not visible also.
Hello. Ma'am, you are not audible. Your mic is unmute. Mic is mute, ma'am. Madam is joining. Oh, it is due to the network connection problem.
yeah, yes, my screen is there.
Yes, ma'am. It is there. Your sound is not clear. Voice is not
Am I
clear.
audible now? Am I
Yeah,
audible now?
it is audible, but
My
You have to increase a little bit. That's
Yes. Okay. Actually, there is a connection problem. It seems that there is a connection problem. Otherwise, I'm quite vocal that way. I'll just check.
yeah.
I'll just check. Am I audible now? Am I
Yes,
audible?
ma'am. Yes,
The
ma'am. You are
screen is.
audible. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes, yes. Thanks to my BSNL connection. If it doesn't work, then I'll switch over to my mobile hotspot. Okay. So I was talking about the second problem we faced about extracurricular activities. And era of globalization has taught us to be more and more selfish. Okay. So this selfishness should be dropped, and we have to come out. All the curricular activities are actually come together, help each other. That is the importance of it. Student teacher relationship, another problem. Is it true or there is a problem? Hello? Hello?
Little bit problem, but we can.
Madam?
You are audible, but
Hello?
the internet is slow. Little.
Voice is breaking. Should I switch over? Okay, I'll
No,
try to switch over.
no. You
It will take
continue.
hardly. It will take 7 seconds. Yeah. No, it shows that I'm connected. Okay. If the problem persists, please still let me know.
Yeah,
It
ma'am. You
hardly takes
continue.
one
We
second.
can hear you. You continue, please.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. No. But your voice is breaking. I'll shift from this to this thing. Okay. It will
Okay.
take
Okay.
just 1 second to.
Yeah. No
Uh,
problem.
yeah, I'm there.
Yes, ma'am.
Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now on
Yes,
my
ma'am. Yes.
mobile
Please
connection.
continue.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The problem was talking about student relationship. I know these days how we used to students. We have to treat them as a friend and used to help them quite often. But globalization made education accountability, especially in higher educational institutions. And higher educational institutions merely becoming they are becoming a market of education where the buyers and sellers are students and teachers. This calls for urgent need of introduction of education in HEI. This is very important because our relationships are rotting. And next point is, perhaps this is everybody's point, political infringement and management related problem. A strong level of political alignment is observed in all levels of HEIs, which deviates the major objective of the institute. A value-based education also makes the management obligatory to certain values. Okay. So when we have value-based education, the management has also to accept certain values, which upgrades the standard of the institution as a whole. So the less said, the better. This area is quite challenging. Then the self-assessment area. This is value education makes both the teachers and the learners accountable to their own conscience. When the sense of guilt comes from within, the guilt gets rectified. हमको लगेगा हमने गलती की तभी तो सुधारेंगे, पर हम तो कभी गलती करते ही नहीं, तो हम क्यों सुधारें? The process of rectification never becomes binding or imposed. It just happens spontaneously. It's very important that we should do the self-assessment through these areas: values, needs, skills, principles, and visions. And the sense of guilt, sense of improvement, and sense of correction should be there. हमको जब self assessment मिलता है, तो we used to try that we are never actually at fault, and we are always there. We don't need any improvement even for our students. So what we feel it's actually being communicated to the students. So we have to see these things, and there are very easy solutions. Let them visit to the local old age homes and orphanage or organized to help students in inculcating these moral values. हम लोग सभी लेकर जाते हैं mostly, and we will see. But you see where the essence is gone. We take them perfunctorily. Okay, we have to take them, and their interaction should be quite effective, and you can have this kind of a feeling. This feeling of empathy is very important. And group discussion on imperative issues, and it's very important. Group discussion can definitely give a kind of a personality development area also, but this group discussion shouldn't be like this, where you see that somebody is saying, okay, your point is not good, okay, जब मेरा टाइम आएगा तो मैं बोलूंगी, और जो मैं बोल रहा हूँ वही सही है, और या फिर कोई बोलेगा कि ओके मैं अपना ओपिनियन शायद बदल हो सकता है, ये सही हो, और कोई बोल रहा है कि मुझे तो कोई इंटरेस्ट ही नहीं है, जो चल रहा है वो चलता रहे. Not these kinds of discussion we should be in, but we should have a healthy kind of discussion for students. Active participation in cultural, you will say, yes, we all are. So this there, value education is really very much in the education itself. It is inseparable. We cannot separate it. And when you do it, students become closer to their roots. Okay, and yes, it's very important, and we all are doing it. And you know, the students are so happy and so charged whenever we have the cultural programs, events for them. Yeah, and participation in sports activities. Yes, you can say that you send your students for their different activities, but to understand the sportsman's spirit, power of optimism, that is important. Okay, and with that, these activities, you can say, where is the value? But the value is there. Optimism is there. And you see, you can complain that we don't have money for this and that, but innovation has no limit. The topic of your FDP is innovations. Okay, so innovation is there in your mind, their idea. It doesn't need the money really all the time. Okay, and sometimes this happened. Don't pay here. This teacher is teaching. Don't teach like this. If you go for negative teaching, it will destroy you. Okay, and sometimes we have students like this smarter than us, use of ICT. Okay, so we cannot stop them, and when we say tell them to take notes, now they take it. But you see, we have more area, edutainment. Okay, now education these days is actually a kind of entertainment, and through this entertainment we can also have the closeness of value education. I want to give you some motivational lines, and motivational stories are generally told narrated. Now I'm going to tell you a wonderful story. So enjoy. Some of you must be aware of the story. Okay, that is there. Mahesh, the proprietor of a coffee shop, had been busy all day. Okay, being Saturday, his shop was very crowded, and the customers seemed unending. He had been on his toes since morning. Towards the evening, he felt the splitting headache surfacing as the clock ticked away, and his headache worsened. Unable to bear it, he stepped out of the shop, leaving his staff to look after the cells, and he walked across the street to the pharmacy to buy himself a painkiller to relieve his headache. इतना हेडेक हो गया काम की वजह से कि उसको उसको लगा कि मैं जाऊं कॉफी शॉप ओनर को कि मैं एक हेडेक की पिल ले लूं. Okay, he swallowed the pill and felt relieved. Okay, he knew that in a few minutes he would feel better. क्योंकि उसको लगा कि अब उसको अच्छा लगेगा, and naturally when you feel, you get, uh, of course, you feel better. As he strolled out of the shop, he casually asked the sales girl, Girja, where is Mr. Gopal? He is not at the cash counter today. He was his friend, so he asked, where is Gopal? And you see, the girl replied, Sir, Mr. Gopal had a splitting headache, and he said that he was going across to your coffee shop. Oh, and he said a cup of hot coffee would relieve him of his headache. The man's mouth went dry and he mumbled, Oh, I see. This is a typical case of looking out ourselves for something that we have within us. How strange, but true. The chemist relieves his headache by drinking coffee, and the coffee shop owner finds relief in a pain relieving pill. Okay. Similarly, many of us travel across the length and breadth of the universe to find peace. Eventually, we come to realize that real peace is within our heart. So these kinds of nice activities naturally will entertain your students, and this will add something to it. Now here I'm going to show you a clip. If it is not audible, please let me know. Okay, this is very important that you should know. So I'm going to share a video clip with you.
We take you out to that gallery where we have an exhibition going on.
It is
There are
audible, ma'am.
portraits of individuals who can justifiably be called the builders of modern India. We'll ask you to identify them and write down their names on the sheet of paper here.
Is it audible, madam?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is audible.
How did the exam go? Any estimate as to what the highest score could have been? 2? 3. But the high score on the sheets which are currently with me is around 6. I cannot tell you who they are and how they have built the nation. This is the builder of India's new program. Guess this is Dr. Homi Jahangir Baba. The builder of India's space program, Vikram Sarabhai. The builder of India's phenomenal hockey triumphs, Dhyan Chand. The builder in so many ways of India's film industry, Shri Dada Saheb Phalke. The builder of India's green revolution, Shri M.S. Swaminathan. And the builder of India's critical institutes, P.C. Mahalanobis. Is it surprising that most of them aren't remembered?
I was ashamed of myself, and I was like, just to go back and know more about them. I'm really after the exam, I was quite disturbed because I couldn't get anyone.
The pictures are missing from the public domain. You not see their pictures.
You know, everyone knows about them, but somewhere their memory is obscured.
Let's hand you these lovely little booklets on these builders of modern India who we just spoke about and whose portraits we have seen.
Yes, we hardly know about our own India, our people. We know what is happening in Moon or Mars. So we should be. This is one way you can tackle your students to know certain things, the values of life. Now the next slide is about NAC. I will touch upon this because it's very important. Value education is innate in NAC's all the steps. So it's the vision of NAC here I'm sharing. We talk about quality culture. Okay, this quality culture is they are talking about the values. Okay, and on the basis of the vision of NAC, mission has been implemented. Actually, vision is a kind of a focus on tomorrow, whereas mission is actually a statement which focuses on today. So they do periodic assessment, environment, academic environment, and self-evaluation, accountability, autonomy, and all these things. I'm not going to go into the details since I'm not taking up NAC right now. The mission, okay, the mission, you should have a kind of a this willpower and decision to do what you have actually visioned, what you have planned. You are implementing it. Okay, but when you are implementing it and you're planning it, there should be a strong foundation that is called core values. Here I take the core values as integrity, respect, responsibility, sportsmanship, servant leadership, and as you know, the teamwork is also very important. So whenever we talk about it, these standards also offer a way of thinking about which educational philosophies or initiatives your college supports. But NAC has 5 core values, a value framework contributing to national development, fostering global competencies among students, inculcating a value system among students, promoting the use of technology, quest for excellence. So these 5, on the basis of this, the whole build-up of NAC work is actually being implemented. And let's go into the next one, that is the contributing to national development. The first core value. And you can see social justice, ensuring equity, increasing access, human resource development, capacity building, all these, knowing the economy and society, all these things again indicates towards the values, and fostering global competencies, that is skill development, then acceptable norms, standards, core competencies which should be inculcated. Okay, these are all again under the umbrella of value system. And value system amongst the students, then you have to have, they should understand the pluralities and diversities, social, cultural, truthfulness and righteousness, and mutual understanding and cooperation. And really they should know the importance of teamwork and good leadership. This is also there. And promotion of use of technology, even I hinted at the use of technology all through. NAC wanted that technology should be used. So even for this teaching, for value education, we can take the help of technology, quest for excellence. So always working for being better and better and better. Okay, so the quest for excellence should not stop, because they say initiation, sustenance, and then enhancements. So go on increasing whatever qualities you have. Now this is criterion one, curricular aspect, where you have 100 points. They talk about the cross-cutting issues, and under the cross-cutting issues, you have to focus whether you have some courses on professional ethics, gender, human values, environment, and sustainability, and 10 QLM. That means NAC peer team will come and this. So again, you have to show this whether you have this is there in your course pattern, in the curriculum it has been incorporated or not. Okay, and even the second point is experiential learning through project work, and how students are, this is again taken from our ancient Indian that education system. Okay, experiential learning, where they talk about paryatanas. Okay, project work, field work, internship. This has again 10 weightage point here. And if the students involvement in such activities, again you have 10 weightage points in the same area. Then in criteria number 7, it is institutional values and best practices. Again, 100 weightage points there, which has 3 key indicators. Okay, and out of these key indicators, the weightage points are given here. Okay, all 3 are very much innately connected to value education. How? Let's see. First of all, it is talked about gender equity. Okay, if you promote gender equity, that is women security, safety, counseling, common room, daycare center, or other relevant areas, okay, you will get 5, okay, weightage point here. Then next is environmental consciousness and sustainability. Here you have to show that how you conserve energy. You have solar energy, biogas, wheeling grid, or other sensors. Okay, LED bulb. How you can be energy efficient. This is environmental consciousness and sustainability too. Okay, how you manage the degradable or non-degradable waste. In 500 words, you have to answer this: solid waste, liquid, bio, e-waste, okay, waste recycle, okay, all these things will be here included by NAC. The third environmental consciousness is about water conservation, rainwater harvesting, bore well construction, waste water recycling. All these will come under this the third area. The environmental consciousness, fourth area, you have that is green campus. So when you have green campus, using bicycle in place of vehicles, pedestrian, okay, friendly pathways, plastic ban, and other things. So you have planting trees, okay, plants, landscaping, all these will come into it. The fifth one, environmental consciousness and sustainability, you have a green audit of environment and energy, green audit, energy audit, environment, clean and green campus, beyond the campus environment, all these. So environment is related with value education, environmental consciousness and sustainability. 6, you have disabled friendly. You see, we should be empathetic, and we should have a very special treatment for the disabled friendly people, and we have to have all these things, RAM, this thing, website, and some material, helpful material for disabled people. Okay, so barrier free environment here also. Yeah, NAC comes inclusion and situatedness. So wherever you are, you should be tolerant, okay, harmonious with your culture, religion, linguistic, communal, socio-economic. There should not be fighting, but there should be all harmony and love and peace. That is important. And human values, now 3 human values they have given here, okay, how your institute is sensitized, okay, as far as constitutional obligation, values, right, duties, responsibilities of citizens. So this is to be focused, how you show it to them, how you used to teach them. And the code of conduct, do your institute has code of conduct for students and teachers, whether it is displayed on your website or not. All these activities are very important. Okay, annual awareness program, if you have on code of conduct, you give 2 marks. And this is human value professional ethics, the last one. This I have already talked, the international commemorative days, events, okay, of national importance or international importance should be celebrated, but with a serious conviction that you are teaching something and students should they are getting something out of it. And it also asks about the best practices. You have to write 2 best practices. Again, it is whenever you talk about the best practices, it's very much related to the practice which has some value in it. So you have to give 2 practices here. I will not talk much about it. I'm not taking next this thing. The last one is institutional distinctiveness, that recently they have included this distinctiveness. So what is your how I'm standing out? I have some qualities which is in me only. Nobody has that quality. We have one institute, that is our institute, which is specific to us. So that is again a kind of thing which makes you prominent. Okay, you stand out. You are, and that again requires your value focus. Even national education policy has these fundamental principles. It aims at producing engaged, productive, and contributing citizens to building an equitable, inclusive, and plural society as envisaged by our constitution. Okay, these are all the qualities and life skills. Okay, all these things comes being taken into its compass. Okay, national education policies actually they have this principle, the perfect purpose of education. Okay, value-based education is now integral part of new education policy. So it is value-based, and the purpose of education, they say, develop good human beings. They should have compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper and creative imagination, with sound ethical moorings and values. And these basic 5 human values should be incorporated. And NEP is based on it: truth, peace, non-violence, love, and righteous conduct. And here it is being given, okay, curriculum in school. It is written in 4 parts. Education policy is written in 4 parts. It's futuristic education policy, whereas in school education, the curriculum they have to develop key qualities like regularity, punctuality, cleanliness, self-control, industriousness, sense of duty, desire to serve, responsibility, enterprise, creativity. And here they have put one curriculum pedagogy in school, that is learning should be holistic, integrated, enjoyable, and engaging. Even for higher education, they have put something, okay, towards a more holistic, multidisciplinary education, optimal learning environment and support for students, motivated, energized, capable faculty, okay, and equity. All these comes under the periphery of value education. And they also believe in this, that is SDG 4. What is this SDG 4? Sustainable Development Goals 4. We talk about industry 4.0, we talk about education 4.0, but this education policy has taken this pledge to be SDG 4. Okay. So with that, there is another clip. If Sampada madam permits me, I will read to you. This is really important and you will really enjoy if you listen to it. Should I, madam?
Ma'am, you
Sampada
can.
madam, are
Yes,
you
yes,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you can.
First, please be lifelong students. When we are kids, we ask questions like, why is the sky blue? Why is the bird flying so high? But for some reason, as we get older, that curiosity goes away. And if we're happy with the knowledge we have, then we're actually going to atrophy. So please remain a lifelong student. Don't lose curiosity. Second, whatever you do, throw yourself into it. Throw your head, heart, and hands into it. I look at my job not as a job, I look at the calling as a passion. And I don't care about the hours, I don't care about that. So whatever I do, please look upon as a calling and a passion, not as a job, not as something temporary. The most important one, help the life. Greatness comes not from position, but from helping build the future. All of us in positions of power have an obligation to pull others up. The fourth key I say is consistency. It's important that leaders are consistent. You can change your mind, but change your mind against consistent framework. Because if you're not consistent, people are always second guess what you do. So be consistent. And the last skill is your compass. Integrity is critical in this world. You can be competent and courageous, have confidence, be a great communicator, be consistent. If you don't have integrity, the compass doesn't point true north.
Yes, she was listed on the Time magazine's 100 most influential people in the world in 2007 and 8. Indira Nui, CEO of PepsiCo, you have to fight to reach your dream. You have to sacrifice and work hard for it. Keep in mind three things she said. First, be a lifelong student. Don't lose curiosity to learn. Second, she says, whatever you do, throw your head, heart, and hand into it and treat your work as calling or passion. Third, help others to rise, pull them up. Okay. And fourth, always be consistent in your approach. Continue. कहीं छोड़ के बीच में चले नहीं जाना. And last, compass that should always point to north. You should have integrity and honesty. With that, I definitely come to my end of my presentation. The highest education, as Rabindranath Tagore says, is that which does not merely give us information, but makes our life in harmony with all existence. Thank you, thank you. Values are deeply held beliefs. Okay, they drive and direct your behavior. So with that, I stop sharing. Okay, thank you all of you for listening attentively, and those who are just attending.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Participants, if you want to interact with ma'am or want to ask some question, so platform is open for you. Anyone? मैडम से किसी को क्वेश्चन कुछ शेयर करना है तो आप बोल सकते हैं. Thank you very much, ma'am. It was excellent presentation on value education and very interesting also. Thank you very much. So without taking more time, I ask Dr. Ruchi Chaudhary for the formal vote of thanks of Dr. Jyoti Patil, ma'am.
Ma'am, may I audible?
Yes,
like,
yes.
Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you so much. Good afternoon, dignitaries, eminent speakers, and esteemed faculties. मैं क्या vote of thanks do, ma'am? I'm speechless. Dear Dr. Jyoti, ma'am, thank you so much for being here with us today. At this juncture where ma'am is today, she must have received so many such vote of thanks. But today, on behalf of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nagpur, SN More College of Arts and Commerce, Srimati G.D. Saraf College of Science and Tumsar, and we all present here sincerely from the bottom of our heart, ma'am, are absolutely glad and thankful to have such a dynamic personality like you, ma'am, with us. Ma'am, I just want to quote a few lines from your own poetry, ma'am. Ma'am is passionate in her attitude, wonderful in her poetry, strong in her approach, and heavenly creation of sincerity, grace, and intelligence, ma'am. Ma'am, you facilitate us so well about the role of education for holistic development of students, which is a relatively new movement in education that seeks to engage all aspects of the learner, including intellectual, physical, emotional, mental, and social abilities, ma'am. Ma'am, very rightly said by you that innovations and transformations are much needed, ma'am. और आपने तो क्या खूब कहा है, ma'am, गलत देखेंगे तो गलत सीखेंगे. और आपने जो कोट किया था, साथ ही हाथ बढ़ाना वाला song was so appropriately utilized for this presentation. The way you narrated the story, it was unique. And last but not the least, ma'am, your videos was cherry on the cake. Your presentation was a complete package, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. In fact, you mentioned that initially that it's very challenging topic, but nobody else better than you can gave justification to this. So hats off to you, ma'am. Once again, thank you so much for sparing your precious time. And if everybody agreed to me, so can we just join our hand together for ma'am and just have a big round of applause for ma'am for such a wonderful presentation. It's actually best of the best, ma'am. Thank you so much, Sampada ma'am, for organizing such a wonderful FDP program and entire team. So congratulations, everybody present here. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Dr. Ruchi Chaudhary. Thank you, Dr. Jyoti Patil, ma'am. We will have many more programs in collaboration with you. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm thankful to Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Madam, Principal of your college, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, and Dr. Chetan Mashram, my good friend, Principal of SN More College, for giving me this opportunity and perhaps attending my lecture so attentively. So, lot of thanks. And I'm just a learner like you people. I'm learning, and I hope if you ask me questions, I may learn more. Okay. Perhaps I have not taken much of a time of the second speaker.
No, it is on time only. Yeah, thank you very much, ma'am. So dear friends, moving toward the next session, very interesting session. We have with us Dr. Shishir Parsapure. I welcome you, sir, on this virtual platform. And I invite Dr. Radhesham Dipte for formal introduction of Dr. Shishir Parsapure.
I'm audible?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Madam, thank you. I am taking your leave.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. See you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Very comprehensive as well as a complete package of presentation.
Over to you, Dr. Radhesham.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Over to you, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Over to Dr. Radhesham Dipte, sir.
Good afternoon and hearty welcome to everyone. Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Good afternoon and hearty welcome to everyone. I am Dr. Radhesham Dipte, HOD English, SN More College of Arts and Commerce, and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar. I am immensely proud and glad that Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanwan Nagpur and Gondia Education Society, SN More College of Arts and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar, District Bhandara, have taken up to organize an interdisciplinary national level 1 week faculty development program on need of innovation in curriculum and teaching, learning process in higher education. I express my gratitude towards both the managements for granting us permission to organize an FDP on such a large scale. I greet the organizers and participants. Today is the 5th day, the final day of the FDP. We have Dr. Shishir Palaspure, a doctor, medical doctor by profession, psychiatrist, a scholar, and eminent speaker to share his thoughts and wide experience in the field of psychology on the topics role of counseling in personality development. Although as Dr. Palaspure is from our own city, that is Nagpur, and needs no introduction, I am here to formally introduce him. Dr. Shirish Palaspure, MD Homeopathy, MSc Psychology, is an international life skill trainer, psychotherapist, director and founder of the company Morphic Minds, and also of the affiliated training center of Albert Ellis Institute, India. Dr. Palaspure has, to his credit, of being educated at the best institutes in the world like Harvard University, Boston, Albert Ellis Institute, New York, and Bake Institute, Philadelphia, USA. Dr. Shishir has brought Nagpur to the world map by representing India at international conferences like the American Psychological Association Convention at Hawaii, World Congress of CBT Therapists at Peru, Latin America, and twice at Spain. Dr. Palaspure's training workshops are in immense demand because of his expertise and down-to-earth nature. He is an expert in life skill coaching, personality development, and confidence building, besides training psychologists in the treatment of psychological disorders. He has conducted dozens of CBT and REBT workshops, and has trained thousands of mental health professionals and non-professionals and trained many celebrities. He also regularly trains beauty pageants, contestants like Mrs. India, Queen of Substance, Mrs. India or Mr. India, Miss LED Nagpur, etc. He is the head of the West Zone Mrs. India Unique Pageant. Friends, we have to face a lot of psychological problems. While imparting our duty as a teacher, we need insight into student psychology. For enlightening us on the topic, today we have Dr. Shishir Padaspure from our native place only to share his experience, knowledge and understanding. He will talk today on role of counseling in personality development of students. I don't stand any longer between Dr. Sir and you. Let us listen to him. I invite Dr. Padaspure Sir for the lecture. Over to Dr. Sir. Thank you very much.
A very good afternoon to everyone, and thank you so much, sir, Dr. Adesham, sir, and Sampada ma'am, and everyone in the organizing committee for inviting me and giving me this opportunity to interact with you. So I'm assuming that today is my last presentation. Basically, after this, there would be a valedictory function. So it is my huge responsibility to make sure that everyone does not fall asleep before the valedictory function. And I take up that challenge for sure. So role of counseling in personality development of students. Now, this is a huge, massive topic. And when I was told that I have to present it in 1 hour, so now that became a bigger challenge. So if I have to discuss on this topic over a month, then it would not be challenging. But if I have to compress this in 1 hour, then definitely it's a big challenge to me. Now, let me quickly give you, I would say, orientation to this topic. Though I am a trainer, I train people in counseling. I do not think that this 1 hour is adequate to train you into the topic that we have discussed, we have decided, right? So first of all, let me talk about what is the need of personality development in today's students. Is there any need? I mean, like, are these not adults? Are these students not adults? And can't they handle their own problems? Well, all of you now, I want this to be interactive. You may write in the chat box and I should be able to read it. Think of the time you were in college. You were in college as a student. You don't have to disclose much. I know you won't be. What were your challenges in your college times? So as a student, I mean, like, some of you may be very, very young teachers as well, who have just finished college. So maybe just 4 or 5 years back. And some of you may have finished your college like a decade back or 2 decades back. Think of the time you were in college and what were the challenges that you faced. And now, after this, think of the students today. How are these students' problems different from the problems that you had when you were in college? So any inputs on this? I would like to hear something on this so that my rest of the presentation would probably be viewed woven around that, right? Okay, so can someone give me some insights? Like, you may unmute yourself and tell me what were the problems that you had and how are they different from today's students' problems? Anyone can raise hand, and I think I should be able to answer. See, we have a choice not to interact. We also have a choice to interact. The later option is a little bit more helpful. I don't want this to be one way only. Okay, one of the problems that today's students face is screen usage, right? How many of you agree with this, that you know, at our times when we grew up, we did not have this problem as much as these students today have? So one of these problems is screen usage. How else? Yeah, digital media. So one person has mentioned that digital media is a new challenge to students today. Anyone else? You can write in the chat box. I can read this. Do you see any other challenges that today's students have that you didn't have? Yes, a lot of information, overuse of information, overload of information is one. Mhm. Now, 2 days back, you must have heard a news about Miss Fogart, who's a national level boxer who died of suicide because she lost a match. Right now, are you hearing more and more such news lately?
Sir, that's lady in wrestling, sir.
Sorry, yeah, wrestling. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah,
She's the
it's
cousin sister of, she's the cousin sister of
yeah,
Geeta
she's the
Fogart.
cousin sister of the boxers. So
No,
she
sir.
lost a wrestling match. Single child, most time no home support psychologically. All right, so these are new challenges. I think students are facing challenges that are related to behavioral and mental health a little more than what we used to when we grew up. So as teachers, you know, they our role is more of facilitation, because you know they know more stuff than teachers at times. Like they have Google available, so factual information is easily available to them. And as teachers, we are facing more and more problems. I teach as well, so I know that you know we need to be very updated with knowledge. But at the same time, managing the class, managing these children's or students' emotions, managing these children's behavior has become an increasingly challenging problem. So we see on one spectrum, on one end of the spectrum, we see there's a lot of anxiety about studies. And on another end of the spectrum, we see that there is total complacence about studies, and the students are not very focused on studies. So why does this thing happen is what we're going to discuss, and what can be done about this, right? Okay. So I would want you to be a little more proactive from now onwards. I think proactivity is another issue that we see in students that is lacking today, that they are not proactive. We used to be, I remember in our times, we used to be very eager to submit our homework at times. We used to be ahead of the class. We had that drive to be ahead of the class. Students today usually do not have that kind of drive in them. So one of the reasons to implement these preventive and counseling programs in educational institutes is it has been proven without doubt, beyond a lot of evidence is supporting this, that it promotes achievement, educational achievement or academic achievement, by reducing emotional upset, which can interfere with learning. So you know that the adolescents and young adults go through a phase where you know their relationships are at peak. They're they are at a choice point in their life where they have to choose between their careers, and they have to focus on their careers. At the same time, there is pressure to earn money, there is pressure to match up to other people, there is pressure to stand out, and all these things happen at the same time. Now this can lead to a lot of emotional upset. And you know, if someone is emotionally upset, do you think they learn better or they learn worse? So when anxiety goes up, your memory goes down. It's as simple as that. So implementing counseling programs, and even preventive programs for that matter, can reduce emotional upset, and which actually interferes with learning. It teaches skills to promote achievement. For instance, skills like persistence, frustration tolerance. How many of you know of students who do not persist enough? For instance, they have to read a chapter and they would give up easily. They would not persist on their efforts. And this is increasing because we see that students want a shortcut. They do not want to put in effort. So there is something called as effort tolerance. I am sure that you know of students who have very poor effort tolerance. They want things to be easy. Yeah.
Please put off your mics. Anyone? Sorry, sir.
No, this happens.
Kirdak madam, please mute yours.
Right. So distress tolerance. Say for instance, now there was some disruption in the flow. Now, if I had low distress tolerance, then I would probably get very angry and upset, and I would probably lose my thread of thought. Now, this happens when a lot of students face small frustrations. For instance, their goal is blocked, things are not happening the way they want, and they may get very upset about it. So either they can get very angry about it, they can start blaming other people, like ye aisa kar raha hai, wo waisa kar raha hai. And very low distress tolerance can lead to a lot of emotional disturbance. Second, students, very young students, generally do not have clearly set designed goal. Now, if you ask students, I have whenever I have interacted with students from VNIT, GMC, or any other big institution, and I ask them, what are your goals? So they mention their goals to be very singular. So I want to be a doctor, I want to be an entrepreneur. And so these are very singular goals. Instead, they do not say that, I want to be a doctor in the profession. I also want to be physically healthy. I also want to be emotionally healthy. I also want to earn reasonable amount of money. And at the same time, I want reasonable interpersonal relationships with other people. So their goals do not cover all the areas of life. They only have a singular goal. Now, how many times have you seen people who excelled academically, but professionally they didn't excel at all? Or they have very good positions in profession, but they do not manage their money well. Or some people who are good academically, professionally, but their interpersonal relationships are pathetic and nobody likes them. And this is the case. What happens is with poor goal setting is they do not have multiple goals in life, but they have only a single goal, and they are driven towards that goal. Young people specifically are alienated today, and their goal setting needs to be corrected. These programs, like counseling programs or preventive programs, can also promote rational thinking and self-acceptance. If we accept ourselves the way we are as human beings, I think we will have a better outcome in terms of all the goals that I have spoken about. These programs, counseling and preventive programs, have been found to be promoting social and emotional well-being, which has a positive impact on success in life, self-management, and a sense of
Please mic mute ठेवा आपले, please.
Dr. Morthade's mic is on. All right, thank you. How many times, let's not talk about students, but how many times have you come across professionals who have been assigned a work, but they do not take accountability of it, and they are very, very irresponsible when it comes to work? Have you ever encountered such professionals in life? Have you ever encountered any students who do not own up their problems and they keep blaming another person? Or
Sorry, sir. Sorry, I know that Morgade sir is, a lot of noise was there.
No problem. No problem. So, how many times have you come across people who are irresponsible? And, let's say that you are recruiting a person, and then would you like someone to be a responsible person who owns up responsibility, who does things on his own, or who needs to be told to be doing things? Now, these are very fine aspects, but finally, these are the things that we look for in professionals, we look for in employees who are proactive and who are accountable, who you can trust. Now, let's quickly look at how we can implement these programs. in educational institutes. So we can have individual sessions with these students. We can also have classroom weekly sessions so that, one person is not targeted, because it often happens that if someone is seen to be going to a counselor, then people start talking about it, like tujhe kya problem ho gayi jo tu counselor ke paas gaya tha. So instead of that, we can have classroom weekly sessions. We could also have a circle time. This is popular in schools, but we can also make it popular in colleges, where there could be a small circle time where the counselor or the psychologist could be teaching them some mental health concepts. There could be teachable moments. I have seen many times something happens. Now, I had teachable moments twice here in this lecture. For instance, my flow was disturbed. It was disrupted, and I had a teachable moment where I could teach you a concept that, if I had low distress tolerance, then I would probably blast out. But if I had high distress tolerance, then I would not blast out. So such teachable moments come. Every single adversity can be converted into a teachable moment. Let's say that, someone is bullying another person, another student in the class. It's a very good teachable moment where the teacher can get upset about it, but also can view it as a teachable moment where you could briefly and quickly teach a small concept of self-acceptance and other people's acceptance, and non-discrimination, or probably, how what would be the consequences of such a behavior. So every adversity can be turned into a teachable moment if all the teachers get some training into this. We also have learning centers where it could be it could mimic a small library where you can put up posters, you can have competitions, and these people can make artifacts where some mental health concepts could be promoted. These learning centers can also have small videos made by these students on specific topics. Say, for instance, instead of the way we do about save the planet, best out of waste and so on. So we could have mental health concepts like acceptance. We could have mental health concepts like how to stay away from addictions, how to reduce your screen usage, how to be happy, how to manage your anger, and so on. So these learning centers don't have to be in a physical room, but there could be a YouTube channel where you could have all the participants assigned some kind of 2-minute videos where they make videos, they go out into the city and they shoot videos where they teach a concept like this. I started a program called as Mentor Buddy in the Center Point schools in Nagpur, where I trained these students, 6th grade upwards, to listen actively to another person. So this became a very big hit because the students don't want to go to the counselor because of the stigma attached, but they are ready to talk to their friends about their problems. And believe me, a majority of problems are minimized. I wouldn't say resolved, by just venting out. If someone is there to listen to you and they are able to understand your problem, a lot of problems can be resolved. I think I would also urge our principal here and all the principals of the educational institutes to think about this, that why don't we create some mentor buddies who would be active listeners, who would be counselors, but who would be active listeners. They can be taught the basic skills of counseling and listening and responding, so that the overall stress of these students can go down. So this is one. We could show them movies, we could have discussions. Believe me, investing time into this can bring in huge results. Just look at your last lecture that you had delivered. Were you really looking forward to the lecture in the class? Were you really looking forward? Or you had some kind of apprehension, hesitation, or anxiety about delivering the lecture? A lot of you teachers may not be actually actively looking forward to delivering a lecture because of the behavioral problems these students have. So investing some time into mental health of the students is going to bring you a lot of results, because it will reduce your load of winning cooperation from the students. Not only that, but also reducing their emotional upset. Also, counseling would help you reduce your emotional upset. Sorry, help you reduce your emotional upset. In fact, one of the studies that was done by the APA president, Antonio Puente, he suggested, he found out that $1 invested in mental health of students gives back $37 in 10 years. Now, this is huge. So if you invest 100 rupees, it's gonna get you 3,700 rupees back. That's a lot of money in terms of, just invest a little bit of time and money into this and you will get the returns. We could also integrate such mental health programs in curriculum. So let me quickly give you an overview of what we did a small brief survey in students. This was done in the students of VNIT and JMC, the first year students who had, I had an opportunity to interact with. I simply monitored two parameters. One was how many hours of sleep they got on an average, and what is the percentage of marks they got. You can see as the students who self-reported that they had around 5 to 6 hours of sleep. Now that was a habit. They got around, on an average, 84% of marks. Students who reported 6 to 7 hours of sleep had 86.9% of marks. And those who reported 7 to 8 hours of sleep had scored the maximum amount of marks, which is 87. Now you see there is a difference of around 3 to 4% of marks by just one parameter, which is sleep duration. Okay, now ask yourself, how much sleep do you get? And how much sleep do your students get? It would be in the range of 5 to 7 hours. Definitely not 7 to 8 hours, because majority of students are sleep deprived. And if you see that the amount of sleep, if increased further, their marks drop further. So I'm assuming that these, the rest of the students who overslept, probably had disorders like depression or anxiety or hypothyroidism or some other illnesses that could contribute to their reduced marks as well. So I'm talking, these counseling programs can change behaviors as simple as sleep duration. These counseling programs can change their behaviors as simple as screen exposure. How much screen exposure do you have? Do you see students engaged in mobile phones during the class? Do you see that? Do you see, or do you believe that if these students stopped using mobile phones completely, their marks would actually improve? I firmly believe so. If we stopped using mobile phones, our marks would actually improve. So, but we don't have studies for that, but I have correlation studies where, I counted the screen exposure and marks similar to the sleep. And it had around 4% of additional marks who used screens more than, 1 to 2 hours, who used more than 2 hours a day, as compared to who use less than 1 hour a day. So there was a difference of 4% marks. So 4% marks by screen usage, 4% marks by sleep duration, 8% marks. What difference can it make? So just modifying two behaviors can have a huge impact on academic performance. What is counseling? Counseling in itself is a comfortable relationship between two people, where one person actively listens to the challenges that have been narrated by another person and assists them in problem solving. Counseling and psychotherapy are different things, whereas psychotherapy or therapy involves not only the relationship of counseling, but also treatment of disorders. So this is how counseling and therapy differs. So I am a counselor and a therapist as well, but there could be only counselors who do not treat disorders. And that's okay. We need counselors, we also need therapists. So whenever there is a disorder, the scope of counseling has limitations there, and we would rather switch to therapy. Uh, if you would believe me, around 40% of your students would probably currently have either anxiety or depression at this moment, which means a lot of students go through this. Let's look at the basic goals of therapy. I'm going to take a look at the time as well to keep myself on track. The basic goals of therapy or counseling, we can say, is reduction of emotional upset and some kind of dysfunctional behaviors these students may be showing. So when we are upset, our problem solving ability goes down. And therefore, reducing emotional upset definitely has an impact on improving our problem solving ability. Remember, the counselor does not solve the problems for you. The counselor assists you reduce your emotional upset so that you can solve your problems better. Some students, some clients, some patients may also have certain symptoms. For instance, they may have sleeplessness, they may have palpitations. So reducing these symptoms is another very important goal of therapy. Now, the goal of, or I would say the role of counselors is probably the most important. And the second goal, as we're talking about, is teaching these students skills. A lot of students do not have assertiveness skills. Assertiveness not only means saying no kindly and firmly, but also saying yes kindly and firmly. So imagine one of your students has gotten weed into the college. Have you ever caught someone? The principals must be nodding their heads that, yeah, we have found weed in the college. I'm not surprised, but I'm definitely saddened by the fact. And the other person, he does not say no to things. So when someone offers him weed and the person says, no, 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 मुझे नहीं पीना है, मुझे गांजा नहीं पीना है, तुम लोग करो enjoy, मैं ठीक हूँ. And then the guy says, क्या लड़कियों की तरह सिगरेट पी रहा है सिर्फ, अरे मर्दों की तरह तरह गांजा पी, ये stuff सही है. And then this person is not able to handle the emotional upset or the peer pressure that he is going through. What is he most likely to do? He's likely to give in, right? And he's likely to say yes to something that he actually does not want to. Now imagine a girl who has been inappropriately touched and she needs to say no. But at the same time, she does not have assertiveness skills. The majority of girls would have assertiveness about this, but let us imagine someone does not have the assertiveness skills. She cannot stand up for herself. She is most likely to be abused. And this is how a simple skill like assertiveness can have a lasting impact on your life. One incident can have huge consequences on some person's life. Managing time well, I think we all need to manage time well, but this is a skill that we can master. There could be conflict resolution skills, there could be crisis management skills, there could be emotional regulation skills. A skill as simple as how not to procrastinate. Anyone here who does not procrastinate, who does not postpone doing tasks, आज नहीं कल करेंगे, कल नहीं बाद में करेंगे? Is there anyone who does not do that? I don't think so. So we all procrastinate, but how not to procrastinate is a skill that we can teach to students. Of course, we need to know this before we teach our students. And of course, support is something that is a very, very basic goal of therapy. And support means not only you become the source of their support, but you also build their resources. You don't want a student to call you at 3 o'clock in the morning that, madam, ऐसे हो गया, मेरा अभी ब्रेकअप हो गया और मैं टंकी पर खड़ा हूं और मुझे कुछ सूझ नहीं रहा है. Now you don't want to get into such a crisis where you don't know कौन सी टंकी पे खड़ा है, and then the phone gets disconnected and then you get panicked. Oh my God, I was the only support system this boy or girl had, and then the person probably has harmed themselves. So don't be the only source of support. You could also start support groups. Believe me, they are worth the investment. So start some support groups. They don't have to be very big. It could be 2 people who would form a support group, but make sure that they are supervised by a mental health professional. That would be great. So you could start support groups. Of course, we have online support groups in our institute. So if you guys are interested, I might send you the link of the online support group. It's also on the website, so you will be able to find the support group. So you can refer your students to support group, which is free, completely free, so they can talk about their problems. And you build their resources so that they don't become dependent on you. And actual problem solving, actual decision making is something that you may have to assist these students in. And as always, we say common cold can come back, COVID can come back, itch can come back. Similarly, depression, anxiety, all these symptoms can always come back. And we have sufficient evidence to suggest that if you are ready for a relapse, then the chances of relapse are even less. So talking about counseling, I think we need to highlight only 2 or 3 basic qualities that we all have, but a counselor would rather polish them further. So one of the important things in counseling is therapeutic alliance. Therapeutic alliance is a professional agreement that the therapist and client are going to work collaboratively on problems. Now, this is different from what we call as rapport. Rapport is a close and harmonious relationship in which the therapist and client understand each other's feelings or ideas and communicate well. So, I may have a very good rapport with my wife. I may have a very good rapport with my son, but there is no therapeutic alliance. I may have a very good rapport with my friends, but I may not be able to counsel them even if I have the skills, because there is no professional agreement that the 2 people are going to work on the problems. I may be able to offer my point of view over a cup of coffee, maybe, or maybe Ganga Jal, but I don't think that I will be able to do counseling with them, for a very simple reason that the therapeutic alliance would be missing. So that's why we say do not do counseling with your friends, and the last person you should be counseling is your own spouse. So beware, because there is rapport, but there's no therapeutic alliance. You're gonna end both of these things if you try to do that. Warmth is an expression of caring by the therapist by verbal and non-verbal means. Now, this is very tricky. Now, you could have a warmth meter. So when you are counseling someone, you could have a 0 to 10 warmth meter. So if you are too warm, you would probably be hugging the client or student. And that is something that is going to be unhelpful, right? And if you're too cold, that may also create problems, because the person thinks that, you are distracted with your mobile phone, your body language, your verbal communication is very cold. And that may not be very, very helpful in the counseling process. So you need to monitor how much warmth would be required. There's only one guideline about warmth. It's about previous abuse. If someone has been previously sexually abused and they have come to you for help, you should keep the warmth meter lower than usual, because these people can be hyper vigilant about people who are excessively warm. So, just need to be careful about one context. Otherwise, usually the warmth meter could be around 5 to 6, but definitely not beyond 7. That's not going to be helpful in therapy. So watch your warmth. There's another concept called as empathy. Empathy has 3 components, which is accurately understanding the feelings of your client. For instance, you're feeling depressed, you're feeling hurt, you're feeling angry, and accurately understanding why the client is feeling so. For instance, you're feeling hurt about the fact that your husband did not pick you up from college on time. You're feeling angry that the student humiliated you in front of everyone else. You're feeling very depressed that the relationship that you were in for the last 3 years has ended suddenly, right? And that was so unfair. So accurately understanding the feeling and the reason behind it, and then communicating this back to the client and getting a confirmation from this. So this is what empathy is. Now, many people ask me, what is the difference between empathy and sympathy? So I give them an example. That let's imagine your client's emotional experience, your student's emotional experience is a river, is a flowing river. And then you are standing on the corner of that river. So you are the counselor. If you were to be apathetic towards the emotional experience of the student, then you would be turning back towards the flow, and then you will be looking somewhere else. Maybe you would be engrossed in a mobile phone. So your back is turned toward the river, which is, you do not actually look into the emotional upset. If you were sympathetic towards the person's emotional experience or the person, then you would jump into the river and get carried away with the flow. So this is sympathy. If you were antipathic towards the emotional experience, then what would you do? The flow is already disturbed, so you pick up another stone and throw it into the water so that the water gets more and more disturbed. For instance, somebody has just had a breakup, and then you say, मैंने तो तुझे पहले ही कहा था कि वो लड़का तेरे लायक नहीं है, सुनते मत जा, अब भुगत अपने कर्मों के फल. Now, I don't think that this is expected from a therapist or even a friend. This is antipathic statement. You're actually worsening their emotional upset. So this is antipathy. What is empathy? You get into the flow of the river. So you roll up your pants, you stand in the flow of the river. So you know where is the flow coming from? How strong is the flow? Where is it going? What is the temperature of that flow? You're actually standing in the water, but you do not get carried away by the flow. That is empathy. So this is the difference between sympathy and empathy. I think like we need to be in and out of the emotional experience as well. So you do not experience the emotional upset yourself. I have developed a preventive program called as Cognitive Rational Emotive Education, called as CORE, C-O-R-E. In collaboration with the past president of Albert Ellis Institute, New York, Anne Vernon. And we had been running this program in schools for around 7 years now in Mumbai and Nagpur. So extremely well received. And believe me, I call it preventive, but it is already too late to prevent problems. And I'm sure that as teachers, you are the right people than me here, sitting here, who know that preventive programs are a little too late now. We need remedial programs where we need to actually fix problems. The students already have fully developed problems. A simple problem like procrastination is also a developed problem. A simple problem like excessive screen usage, leave alone PUBG and Call of Duty, but excessive screen usage in itself is a problem. Do you think your students meet these two criteria? They postpone doing tasks and they have excessive screen usage? If the answer is yes, then you probably are too late to do something about it. Not too late, but too late for a preventive program, but we can always start one which involves preventive and remedial concepts in the same program. All right, so this is how. Let me quickly summarize that how are we going to help students with counseling? One is preventing problems by teaching them emotional management skills so that they can resolve their own emotional upset. We can also help them manage an emotional upset once they are emotionally upset. So one level is prevention, another level is managing emotional upset. A second level we can teach them is to modify their behaviors so that they perform better academically, interpersonally, physical health, academic, professional, and financial health. They improve these. In counseling, we can also teach them specific skills like assertiveness, problem solving, decision making, crisis management, so that they prevent problems or they are able to buffer their problems better. At the same time, when they actually get into a problem, they will be able to bounce back faster. So this is in some ways we can incorporate counseling programs into educational institutes. And this is the way we can develop their, I do not call it personality development, I call it personal development, because this is what it is. Personality cannot be developed, but you can always have personal development. So I would, if you have any questions that you do not want to ask here, you may always reach out to me on these website, my email, and my phone number, which is also a WhatsApp number. You could also follow me on the social media that I have listed. But I would like to hear from you questions right now because we have a little bit of time. 10 minutes exactly. So what are your
So
questions?
please keep this slide for 1 minute. People may be noting down your number, because many of them are asking me through WhatsApp to get your number.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
this is there. Now I can also see the chat box at the same time this slide is open. So okay, so people are asking me questions. Okay, please ask questions. I know that I have not given you a whole lot of information on how to do counseling. So it's like, how to perform a heart surgery. This is like asking in 1 hour. No, I apologize for that, because it would be too much to deliver in 1 hour. So my focus was to orient you, to stimulate you, to I probably to sensitize you into what counseling could be and how it can help you and your students in a way, so that your overall burden goes down and your students perform better. So do you have any questions?
Participants, platform is open for questioning. आप हिंदी मराठी में भी पूछ सकते हैं सर, मराठी है.
हाँ, this is the last lecture. इसके बाद कोई सवाल आपको नहीं पूछने हैं. इसके बाद validation है. मैडम शायद सो गए हैं सभी.
नहीं
लग रहा है. मेरी पूरी कोशिश.
हेलो
मैम, पहले अपना वहाँ आवाज बहुत है, पूछिए.
हेलो मैडम.
हाँ, पूछिए.
हाँ सर, मैं पूछना चाह रही थी कि सर अभी एक जो सबसे ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम है कि बच्चों को जितना भी आप समझाएं या जो भी आप करें, वो अपने फोकस से नहीं हटते हैं. अपना जो उनका वे ऑफ स्टाइल है, उनको ऐसा लगता है कि क्लास में हम लोग जब उनको कुछ लेक्चर्स दे रहे हैं, कुछ समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो सब जानते हैं. और उनको अगर काउंसलिंग भी हम लोग करते हैं कि मतलब आपको समझना है, लेक्चर्स फॉलो करना है, आपको नोट्स नोट डाउन करने हैं या आपको ये करना है, लेकिन कोई इम्पैक्ट नहीं होता है. वो अपने ही तौर पे बिहेव करते हैं. तो इस तरह से हम लोग किस तरह से बच्चों को गाइड करेंगे?
ये बच्चे कौन से ग्रेड के हैं, किस एज ग्रुप के हैं?
ये 17-18. हमारे यहाँ क्या क्या हमारा जो है लॉ कॉलेज है, तो क्या है कि वहाँ पे जो बच्चे आते हैं 15-16 के बाद ही +2 के बाद आते हैं.
आफ्टर 12th.
हाँ, अब मैं समझ गया.
आफ्टर 12.
इस एज में जैसे एडोलेसेंट्स हैं, ये टीनेजर्स हैं, अभी तक एडल्ट्स भी नहीं हुए हैं और बच्चे भी नहीं हैं, राइट? एक फैक्ट तो ये है कि उनको सब आता है ऐसा नहीं है, पर उनके पास रेडी अवेलेबल रिसोर्सेस हैं, जैसे गूगल है या फिर इंटरनेट है, जिससे वो जब चाहे वो इंफॉर्मेशन रिट्रीव कर सकते हैं. तो इसलिए वो आपकी बात सुनेंगे और वो एफर्ट्स डालकर सुनेंगे, ये जरा सा अनयूजुअल हो जाएगा, राइट? सो बेसिकली मुझे यहाँ पर जो प्रॉब्लम दिख रही है, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल दिस इज नॉर्मल बिहेवियर, वी कॉल इट रेजिस्टेंस. रेजिस्टेंस का मतलब है कि अगर मैं आप पर कोई रूल डालने की कोशिश कर रहा हूं तो आगे वाला इंसान उसको रेजिस्ट करेगा. सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल रेजिस्टेंस को नॉर्मल कहेंगे. हम लोग सबसे पहले एक चीज करते हैं, सब लोग है ना, अपनी मुट्ठी बंद करिए, एक मुट्ठी बंद करिए और दूसरे हाथ से उस मुट्ठी को खोलना है. पूरी कोशिश कीजिए कि आपकी मुट्ठी खुल जाए. सबको अभी इसी वक्त करना है. आपने कैमरास ऑन करेंगे ताकि मैं देख सकूं. सब लोग अपनी
कैमरा ऑन कर दीजिए सर. माइक से म्यूट करिए, तो आवाज बहुत आती है.
हाँ जी, सिर्फ माइक म्यूट और कैमरा ऑन. मुट्ठी को दूसरी मुट्ठी से खोलना है, राइट? अब आसानी से खुल गई या नहीं खुली? कुछ लोगों को तकलीफ हुई. हाँ
सर, वो क्या है कि एक तरफ से मुट्ठी हम बंद कर रहे हैं, एक तरफ से मुट्ठी खोल रहे, तो ऑटोमेटिकली वो नहीं खुलती है.
अच्छा, मैंने ये इंस्ट्रक्शन दिया था कि आपकी मुट्ठी को आपको कस के बंद करना है और खुलने नहीं देना है.
नहीं, ऐसा नहीं कहा था आपने.
ऐसा नहीं कहा था. कहाँ से आया फिर ये?
ये एक कॉमन सेंस है जो हमारी जो साइकोलॉजी है वो वर्क करना शुरू करती है.
अब तो हम लोग घर में बैठे हुए, ये एक्सपेरिमेंट में 2 लोगों के साथ में जब रियल होता है तो कपल्स बनाता हूँ और एक को बताता हूँ कि मुट्ठी बंद करे, दूसरे को खोलने को बोलता हूँ. लेकिन मैं ये इंस्ट्रक्शन नहीं देता हूँ कि आपको रेजिस्ट करना है. तो हम खुद को भी रेजिस्ट कर रहे हैं और ये नेचुरल नॉर्मल ह्यूमन बिहेवियर है कि किसी भी चीज को, चेंज को हमें रेजिस्ट करना है. तो अ लार्ज पार्ट ऑफ इट, डॉक्टर जो आपने मुझे सवाल पूछा, large part of it comes from resistance, which is natural and normal human behavior. अभी इसके साथ साथ में सेकंड कॉन्सेप्ट जो मैंने बताया कि हाँ, इन बच्चों के पास में रिसोर्सेस हैं जिसकी वजह से वो आपकी सवाल, आप जो भी इंफॉर्मेशन क्लास में देने वाले हैं वो खुद ही ढूंढ सकते हैं। और थर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट है कि इनमें एफर्ट टॉलरेंस की कमी है। मतलब उन्हें किसी भी चीज में एफर्ट्स डालना या फिर मेहनत करने की उनकी तैयारी नहीं है। So your goal is not to teach in the first few lectures. Your goal is to win cooperation from them. So अगर हम डायरेक्शन चेंज करते हैं ना कि मुझे आपसे कोऑपरेशन विन करना है और आप क्या चाहते हो जो मैं आपको सिखाऊं, या आप क्या चाहते हैं कि मैं किस तरह से फैसिलिटेट करूं। सो गोल्स आपके लेक्चर्स में कोलैबोरेटिवली सेट होने चाहिए। अब इस एज में बच्चे हैं, कई बार देयर प्राइमरी इन्फ्लुएंसर्स जो होते हैं वो पीयर्स होते हैं, एक दूसरे के होते हैं ना, मतलब जो अदर स्टूडेंट्स है दे बिकम देयर प्राइमरी इन्फ्लुएंसर्स। इस इंफॉर्मेशन को भी यूज करके हम उन्हें एक्टिवली पार्टिसिपेट करने को बोल सकते हैं। दीज पीपल कैन टेक लीड्स एंड प्रेजेंट समथिंग ऑन स्पेसिफिक टॉपिक. So there are a variety of I would say strategies that can be used to increase involvement in students in the class. एक discipline in urban schools एक है, there is a book, Discipline in Urban Schools. So there are multiple books also available which also help students get involved in the classroom. But remember, your goal is not to teach, your goal is to win cooperation from students. So if you change this goal, maybe your lectures would be a little more effective. I hope that answers your questions partially.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. More questions, please.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
Please.
Hello, sir.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Nalini Borkar.
Okay.
सर मुझे पूछना था कि आजकल हमारे स्टूडेंट जो है वो नेटिजन्स बहुत ज्यादा बन रहे हैं।
हाँ जी।
मतलब नेट का यूज कर रहे हैं, फेसबुक, व्हाट्सएप, इंस्टाग्राम, या वहीं पे ज्यादा रह रहे हैं और क्लास में कम आ रहे हैं, और क्लास में आते भी है तो मोबाइल फोन को साइलेंट नहीं रखते हैं। तो क्या हम उनको क्लास में रखने के लिए कुछ कर सकते हैं, यानी वो मेंटली और फिजिकली दोनों तरह से क्लास में प्रेजेंट रहे?
Right. अब जैसे इंटरनेट का प्रॉब्लम we can say कि इसके इफेक्ट्स ऑलरेडी आपको दिख रहे हैं। ओवर यूजेज ऑफ इंटरनेट, ओवर यूजेज ऑफ सोशल मीडिया हैज डेफिनेटली लेड टू दीज प्रॉब्लम्स। दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड कि इस स्टेज में फर्स्ट दे नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि भाई हमें इंटरनेट यूजेज कम करना है। वो आज प्री कंटेम्पलेशन स्टेज में है, मतलब वो नहीं चाहते हैं कि वो अपना स्क्रीन यूजेज कम करें। अगर कोई नहीं चाहता है कि वो स्क्रीन यूजेज कम करे, तो अगर हम उनको डिसिप्लिन करने की कोशिश करेंगे कि भाई आपको मोबाइल फोन्स नहीं यूज करने हैं, दे आर गोइंग टू ब्लॉक यू मेंटली। वो आपका नहीं सुनेंगे। हाँ, वो फिजिकली कंप्लाई जरूर करेंगे, क्लास में बैठे रहेंगे, आपकी तरफ देखते रहेंगे, लेकिन नीचे उनका व्हाट्सएप चलता रहेगा। सो अगेन आई वुड से दैट changing their stage of contemplation is very important, and that's why maybe mental health professionals can help them think one more time to how to reduce their screen usage and why to reduce the screen usage, right? जब तक वो ये नहीं समझेंगे कि हमें स्क्रीन यूजेज कम करना है, क्यों कम करना है और कैसे कम करना है, वो आपकी थर्ड स्टेप जो है कि भाई क्लास में ध्यान देना है, वहां पर नहीं पहुंचेंगे। हम डायरेक्टली यहाँ पर बोल रहे हैं कि आपको क्लास में ध्यान देना है और इन्वॉल्व रहना है, अटेंडेंस बराबर रखनी है। ये पहले की 3 स्टेप्स मिसिंग है। आई होप दैट आंसर्स योर क्वेश्चन।
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, so there is no quick solution. Huh? Remember, I did not give you a quick fix of it.
Do you think teachers have lack in some skills because of that they are not connecting with students nowadays in present situation?
मैं कहूंगा टीचर्स की जो एग्जिस्टिंग स्किल्स थी वो 2000 तक ठीक थी, राइट? तो मैं ऐसा नहीं कहूंगा कि टीचर्स की स्किल्स लैकिंग है। ये प्रॉब्लम ही नए हैं। इफ यू रिमेंबर हाउ आई स्टार्टेड माय लेक्चर, हमारे इस जमाने में जब हम स्टूडेंट्स थे हमारे प्रॉब्लम्स अलग थे, राइट? और आज के प्रॉब्लम्स अलग हैं। जिनका ट्रेनिंग हमारे टीचर्स को अभी तक नहीं मिला है कि आज के जमाने के प्रॉब्लम्स किस तरह से हैंडल करें, राइट? हम अभी भी 20 साल पुरानी टेक्निक्स यूज करते हैं जो इनइफेक्टिव होती हैं, और फिर हम खुद फ्रस्ट्रेट हो जाते हैं कि हमारे जमाने में तो हम ऐसा करते थे, 1 सेकंड में पापा का खौफ होता था, टीचर का खौफ होता था, हम ऐसा करते थे तो स्टूडेंट्स बराबर सीख लेते थे। लेकिन आजकल के बच्चे तो नहीं सीखते हैं। सो दैट इज, आई वुड से, द टीचर्स स्किल्स नीड टू बी अपडेटेड टू द टुडेज टाइम्स, एंड आई वुडंट से टुडेज टाइम्स, 10 years अहेड ऑफ टुडे, आज से 10 साल आगे हमें एंटिसिपेट करके हमें स्किल्स टीचर्स को सिखानी होंगी, तब जाकर टीचर्स को कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा कि मुझे इस प्रॉब्लम को कैसे डील करना है।
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Any more questions?
Yes, madam. Hello.
Yes,
Sir,
Amol.
this is Amol Khandwe from Tumsa. I have a question. My question is, when we see today's generation, this generation is very much fast, and they want fast result. And if they don't get the results, they get disheartened, they get dejected and disappointed. So is it the peer pressure, is it the pressure of their surroundings, or is it the pressure of the parents that they're caring and they're carrying towards? So
No.
if the pressure is from parents side, what is the solution for that?
The problem you're talking about is called as frustration intolerance. ये बच्चे फास्ट नहीं है, इन्हें फास्ट रिजल्ट्स चाहिए, राइट? एंड देयर इज अ सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट कि आई डिजर्व द बेस्ट। फॉर इंस्टेंस, मुझे आईफोन 12 मिलना चाहिए, मुझे आईआईटी में एडमिशन मिलनी चाहिए, मुझे ये कॉलेजेस में इतने मार्क्स मिलने चाहिए, दिस इज, और मिलने ही चाहिए, आई डिजर्व इट एंड आई डेफिनेटली वांट इट, कपल्ड विथ अ लो वर्क एथिक, व्हिच मींस लेकिन मुझे इसके लिए एफर्ट्स नहीं डालने हैं, राइट? कोई आसान तरीका हो तो मुझे बताइए। सो दिस इज व्हाट वी कॉल एज फ्रस्ट्रेशन इंटॉलरेंस। उनमें डिस्ट्रेस टॉलरेंस नहीं है, मेहनत करने की अंदर से इच्छा नहीं है। सो दिस प्रॉब्लम इज वेरी वेरी कॉमन, एक्सट्रीमली कॉमन, स्पेशली मिलेनियल्स में हमें प्रॉब्लम बहुत देखने को मिलती है। सेंस ऑफ एंटाइटलमेंट एंड पुअर वर्क एथिक्स, ये बहुत खराब कॉम्बिनेशन है, जिसमें वो लोग फेलियर्स जो हैं उनको फेस नहीं करते हैं। At the same time, they get very angry, upset, dejected, or very, very hopeless in case things don't go, they don't persist, right? So the problem is frustration intolerance. अभी हमें बच्चों को अगर frustration tolerance सिखाना है, distress tolerance सिखाना है, तो one of the best ways is modeling. अगर हम उनके सामने frustrate हो जाते हैं जल्दी से, right? तो बच्चे उसको follow करेंगे कि हाँ, ऐसी situation में कोई भी frustrate हो जाएगा। लेकिन अगर आप मॉडलिंग करते हैं कि नहीं, बहुत डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन थी फिर भी मैं फ्रस्ट्रेट नहीं हुआ, तो वन ऑफ द वेज इज, दे स्टार्ट लुकिंग अप टू यू कि भाई इतनी बेकार हालत में भी आप कैसे फ्रस्ट्रेट नहीं हुए। दिस इज वन। We can also use examples like what I usually give examples like cactus. Now, cactus, you can learn frustration tolerance from cactus. How is this cactus tolerating frustration? The cactus grows in an environment where it is very harsh and there are very few scarce resources, right? Lekin over millions of years, cactus has adapted itself to survive and even thrive. वो बढ़ता है, ना सिर्फ सर्वाइव होता है, बढ़ता है, उसको फूल भी आते हैं in adverse conditions. This is because of one quality like adaptation. अब आपको millions of years तो है नहीं आपके disposal में, लेकिन human beings are adaptable and they can do this within minutes, within weeks, within months, depending on the situation. So आप adaptability, frustration tolerance को इस तरह के examples देकर उन्हें सिखा सकते हैं, खुद का example देके सिखा सकते हैं, और या फिर जो लोग adversity से बाहर आए हैं, जो popular लोग हैं, उनके बारे में पूछ सकते हैं कि इनमें ऐसी क्या quality थी जिसकी वजह से वो adversities को भी face करके आगे चले गए, या फिर उनकी खुद की लाइफ में से कोई रोल मॉडल्स को उनको लाने को बोलेंगे। रिमेंबर, always 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 these role models they have will definitely have high frustration tolerance. without high frustration tolerance, nobody becomes a role model, right? So try to bring these things up and teach them the quality of high distress tolerance, high frustration tolerance. I'm sure a majority of problems would minimize. Thank you, Amol.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. I think anyone? We can take only one question because our chief guest already joined us. किसी को पूछना है हम एक क्वेश्चन ले सकते हैं. So I think, yeah. So thank you very much, sir. It was really very, very effective presentation. Looking forward to more collaboration with you regarding the workshop for students and teachers for counseling or personality development process. Thank you very much. For formal vote of thanks of Dr. Shishir Parsapure, I request Amol Khandwe, sir. I invite Amol Khandwe, sir.
Thank you, madam. In the second session of this FDP on need of innovation in curriculum and teaching and learning process in higher education, organized collaboratively by Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nandanvan, Nagpur, and St. Narsinghdas More Arts, Commerce and GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar. In the second session, we have with us the facilitator, Dr. Shishir Parsapure, who is a psychotherapist, director, Morphic Minds, affiliated to Training Center of Albert Ellis Institute, Dharampet, Nagpur, who has given a very wonderful session on counseling. And sir, I would rightly say that the role of teacher is always a
Hello, Amol sir.
role of a counselor, and we really teachers, we need to be have a teaching and learning process. The mental as well as the physical health of the students is very much important. I thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your
I think he has
valuable thoughts and views on this topic. And thank Gidika madam and Dr. Coordinator of this program, Dr. Sampada Nasiri madam and Dr. Bharati Katika madam, who organized such a wonderful workshop on this innovative, both the coordinators of IQAC, Dodeva sir and Dipti sir. And finally, at last, I thank all the participants who have listened very patiently. And obviously, we are leaving this session with having something in our mind which will be helpful in our teaching learning process. Thank you very much, sir. Shishir sir, once again, I thank you all. Over to you, madam.
Thank you, Amol sir. Thank you, Dr. Shishir Parsapure. Thank you, sir. So we are now moving toward the valedictory session. For that, Dr. Urmila Dabir has already joined us. She's the chief guest for today's valedictory function. Respected, shall I start, ma'am? Bhagdekar ma'am? We will continue, no?
Yes, we can continue.
Yeah, because madam has joined.
Yes.
Masram sir, are you there? Dr. Chetan Masram sir?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
Yeah. So, respected principal of Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Dr. Vandana Bhagdekar ma'am, respected principal of SN More Arts and Commerce College and GD Sarab Science College, Tumsar, Dr. Chetan Masram sir, chief guest of today's valedictory program of Faculty Development Program, respected Dr. Urmila Dabir madam, principal of Rajkumar Keval Romani College, Nagpur, Dr. Shubhangi Dange ma'am, former chairperson of Board of Studies of Home Economics. I, Dr. Sampada Naseri, welcome you all for the valedictory program, along with my colleagues, Dr. Bharti Katekhai, coordinator, Dr. Anil Dodevar, and Dr. Radhesham Dipte, IQAC coordinators. At the outset, I would like to summarize brief about the 5 days of FDP with the permission of both the principals. I will just share the screen. Through the screen sharing, I will be showing you some glimpses of our So we are at the valedictory session of this 5 days national faculty development program, interdisciplinary faculty development program was organized by Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal's Mahila Mahavidyalay, Nandanwar, Nagpur, in collaboration with Gundia Education Societies, SN More College of Arts and Commerce, and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar. It was the collaborative efforts of Internal Quality Assurance Cell and Department of Home Economics of both the colleges. We have, published this brochure for the contacting the person, to join this faculty development program. The guest, just I am showing the guest of inaugural functions on the 15th March. So we were blessed by the, all the 5 days, all the, facilitators, they facilitate all the teachers in such a good manner that we are receiving very good feedback. So I'm thankful to all the facilitators of all 5 days of this FDP. Today we have a very known personality, eminent personality, Dr. Urmila Dabir, as a chief guest for valedictory function. So I'm just showing some pictures and of the inaugural session. So all of you have seen, you have joined inaugural session. It was a huge success. The inauguration was very nice. So whatever the feedback we have received, the inauguration was done by Honorable Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women's University, Mumbai. Then Dr. Shashikala Vanjari, she spoke very nice. Then Dr. Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor, NAC Bangalore, was the keynote addressee, and we all have, being motivated by her keynote address. It was fantastic. Then our own Dr. Sanjay Dude, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of RTMNU, was guest of honor, though he was unable to join virtually, but he forwarded his video and interacted through video, which was very, very motivating. Shri Ravindra Fadnavis, Honorable President of SSPM, Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, was the president of inaugural program. He also given the presidential address during the inaugural session. Then Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav Ma'am, Dean Interdisciplinary RTMNU, was special guest during the inaugural session. She also guided the participants in a very well manner. Behind all success of this faculty development program, both the principals that is of Mahila Mahavidyalay, Dr. Vandana Bhagdekar, and of SN More College, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram, also given the introductory remarks as a principal. So the participants, virtual participants, very actively participated all the days. So my heartfelt thanks to them. Without them, this faculty development program was incomplete. Then after inauguration, the session began with Dr. Vinayak Deshpande. He spoke on the topic National Education Policy Issues and Challenges. It was fantastic lecture in such a simple language. He interacted with the participants, and many question answers were also asked by the participant. All the participants actively participated. Then day 2 was of the teaching learning methodology. So Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav again was the speaker. She spoke on innovation in teaching learning methodologies and strategies. We all know Dr. Prantik Banerjee, facilitate in a very well manner on the outcome-based education, which is very, very important in today's era. Then, friend, we are very lucky that we have received such a eminent and such a experienced faculty facilitators for particularly for day 3, Dr. Raju Ratan Sharma. He is a head dean of education in Jammu University, and all of you really enjoyed, and that academic research day, that was the research day dedicated to research, and fantastic presentation by Dr. Mahindra Shirsad sir. from the Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Marathwada University. Then day 4 was Dr. Avdesh Jha. He was also Dean of CBM University from Gujarat. Both the sessions were handled by Dr. Avdesh Jha in such a simple language, and he spoke on entrepreneurship development in a simple and easy language, and many participants interacted with them, and it was a very fruitful session. Then today's then in after from the second on sorry on second, third and fourth day, we were having the presentation by the participants. We're about 6 to 7, I think, a presentation we have watched. They were wonderful. So it was just to motivate the participants to that is why we have organized these presentations. And today we have so many feedbacks are coming on my WhatsApp, this thing personally also, and in the group. Both the sessions were fantastic. The Dr. Jyoti Patil, we all know, principal of Renuka College, she spoke on role of value education for holistic development of students. The excellent presentation we have seen. Then just now we have heard Dr. Shishir Parsapure, psychotherapist and counselor. We will be in touch with both the speakers. It was very, very nice. And then just I am mentioning some feedbacks which I have received on my group of faculty development program. Thank you very much, participants. It is because of you only we have successfully completed this program. You have enjoyed this is academic festival. I called it as an academic festival. Everybody participated very nicely, and thank you very much for your feedbacks. And today now we are at the session of valedictory function, and we have Dr. Urmila Dabir ma'am as a chief guest. So we will be proceed forward. And lastly, thank you from myself. I am Dr. Sampada Nasiri and Dr. Bharti Katikai. Due to her health problem, she was unable to join with us. Thank you very much for your huge response, your interaction, your feedback, and suggestions also. So I thanks to one and all. This was the small, brief of all 5 days. Now I will stop sharing, and thank you everyone for watching this PowerPoint about the briefing of all the 5 days. Now proceed forward with this valedictory function. I invite Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir, principal of SN More Arts and Commerce College and GD Saraf Science College, to interact with the part or for the valedictory address. Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir.
Thanks a lot to Dr. Sampada Nasiri, madam. Really, I can't say this is the last day of FDP. Actually, it is the beginning of quality in higher education day. First of all, I would like to welcome respected ma'am Dr. Urmila Dabir, Management Counselor, Member Academic Council, Chairman English Language Board, Rasa Sant Tukaroji Maharaj Nagpur University, and Principal of Mahila Rajkumar Keval Ramani Mahavidyalaya, Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. The another host guest, ma'am Dr. Vandana Bhagadikar, Principal Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nandanvan, Nagpur. Dr. Sampada Nasiri, ma'am. The all participants, host and co-host. Good afternoon to each one of you. And hearty welcome to everyone. Indeed, I am immensely proud and glad that Shri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanvan, Nagpur and Gondia Education Societies, SN More College of Arts and Commerce and Srimati GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar, District Bhandara, have taken up to organize an interdisciplinary national level 1 week, rather 5 days faculty development program on need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning processes in higher education. On the occasion of this today's valedictory function, I express my gratitude towards both the honorable managements for granting us permission to organize an FDP on such a large scale. As you know, today is the 5th day, the final day of FDP. And there comes, obviously, valedictory function. We were all so deeply involved during this 5-day faculty development program, fully with mind and soul, that we did not realize passage of time. And here is the final day of the faculty development program. It seemed just like a dream. It is time to bid adieu to the organizers, facilitators, source resource persons, and participants. With a heavy heart, we are saying goodbye to you all, but in the heart of heart, we are glad and are satisfied with the feeling that participants and we have immensely benefited from the faculty development program. We may have a cursory glance at the proceedings, though Dr. Sampada Madam has already given a clip of 5 days faculty development program. But it is my duty, I think, to recollect the previous days. The day one on 15th March 21, sharp at 11 a.m., the chief guests were Dr. Shashikala Vanzari Ma'am, Honorable Vice Chancellor, SNDT Women's University, Mumbai, and Dr. Sanjay Dude, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor of Rashtrasan Tughraji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur. Keynote speakers were Dr. Leena Gahane, respected Deputy Advisor, NAC Bangalore, and Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav, Dean Interdisciplinary Studies, Rashtrasan Tughraji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur. The conveners and coordinators of FDP were also present. The inaugural ceremony was presided over by Honorable Mr. Ravindra Fadnavis, President, SSPM, Shri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal. The inaugural ceremony was followed by the session on new education policy. Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, Honorable former Vice Chancellor, Rashtrasan Tughraji Maharaj Nagpur University, Nagpur, was the facilitator for the sessions. I thank all the dignitaries. On the second day, Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav, respected Dean Interdisciplinary Studies, Rashtrasan Tughraji Maharaj Nagpur University, for the first session, and Dr. Prantik Banerjee, respected former Vice Principals, Islop College, Nagpur, for the second session, were the facilitator. On the third day of the FDP, we had Professor Rajiv Ratan Sharma sir, HOD Education, Jammu University, and respected Dr. Mahendra Sishar from Dr. Ambedkar Marathwada University, Aurangabad. Respected Dr. Avdesh Jha, Principal, Med College of Education, Vallabh Vidyanagar, Gujarat, elucidated entrepreneurship, self-employment, and innovations in curriculum on the fourth day. On the final day, the delegates benefited from the guidance of respected Principal Dr. Jyoti Patil. She's one of the creative writer also, Renuka College, Besa, Nagpur, and Dr. Shishir Palsapure, psychotherapist, respected Director, Morphic Minds Affiliated Training Center of Albert Ellis Institute, Dharampet, Nagpur. I would like to say a few words today that all speakers were excellent and proficient in their subjects. I heartily thank you all for sharing your valuable thoughts and expertise with us. Thank you very much, sir, for taking out time for us from your hectic schedule. The online FTP was a new experience we had during this corona pandemic. However, technical monitoring was so good that we never felt lack of personal and intimate touch with one another. Personally, I must say that I was one of the organizers, yet I enjoyed the interactions during the faculty development program very much. We received a good number of papers. Contributions were qualitatively very high. One very small, I think, feeling that Professor Dr. Bharti Kadikai, head of the department of our home economics department from our college, and Professor Miss Sunita Rathore from the same department, unfortunately got COVID-19 affected. And that's why they were unable to attend the 5 days sincerely. But the prior preparations they did in such a way that the groundwork was so good that we required to organize such an event was so perfect that we never felt in their absence. Dr. Sampada Nasiri ma'am and the team executed their part very proficiently. The organizers made the arduous task so easy that organizing an FDP appeared a cup of tea for everyone. A good cup of coffee, rather, I can say, for everyone. I thank and congratulate the participants for taking out time to listen the lectures and contributing their research papers, presenting them. I appreciate IQAC and Home Economics Department of both the colleges that they have organized such a nice FDP on a very important topic, the topic of social personal as well as professional relevance, right from new education policy to innovation in teaching, to learning methodology, to research, to entrepreneurship, to holistic development of students, and to counseling. Being the principal of one of the organizing colleges, I express my satisfaction over organizations such conducting technical monitoring support, research papers contributions, presentations, and publications. I express my gratitude towards Shri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal, Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanwan, Nagpur, NAC accredited Arts and Commerce A grade, and Gondia Educational Societies, SN More Arts and Commerce, and Srimati G.D. Saraf Science College, Tumsar, District Bandara, have taken up to organize an interdisciplinary national level workshop, 1 week faculty development program on need of innovations in curriculum and teaching learning processes in higher education. From 15th March to 19th March 2021, I express my gratitudes towards management, Shri Shikshan Mandal Nagpur, and the management Gondia Educational Society once again. I thank the editorial board members for taking on shoulder the onus of publishing papers. Really, sir, it is a dream of teachers to see their papers published. Respected sir, madam, it was very great and satisfying experience to organize an FDP with Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Dear participants, and you all, COVID-19 has taken us apart in a way. Nevertheless, it has brought us close in another way. Thank you all. I thank Dr. Dabir madam for joining today's valedictory function. I will not take much time that madam is going to present her views on this special day, the valedictory function. and guiding the gathering. I wish all best luck. I'm sure that there was contemplations over many current topics in this FDP, and the outcome of was and will be immensely beneficial to all. I must thank Dr. R.K. Deepte and Dr. Anil Dodewar, coordinators of both the college IQXL, for valuable support in handling 5 days FDP, as well as all active cooperations of all faculty members for successful organization of the FDP. I once again thank all teaching fraternity of both the colleges for realizing the dream of an FDP. I look forward to many such collaborations and programs together with Mahila College, Nandanwan, Nagpur. Let's work together and the progress together, maintain the quality in higher education. And hence I would like to say, let us come together, let our strength come together, let us light the lamp of quality education, and so that let us move from darkness to light and more brighter light of positive, constructive, and sustainable quality in higher education. Finally, I would like to say a few quote that a great philosopher Napoleon says, "Give me a good mother, and I will give you a great nations." Likewise, Chanakya says, "Give me a good teacher, and I will give you a good nations." Likewise, Honorable late Dr. APJ Kalam, former President of India, and a great scientist says, "Give me a good mother, father, and teacher are the real societal member for development of nations." And today, I would like to say, give me a good mother, a good father, a good teacher, and a good scientist, and such a good FDP regularly, I will give you a good, excellent quality nations. Finally, flatter us, and I may not believe you. Criticize us, and I may not like you. Ignore us, and I may not forgive you. Encourage us, and I may not forget you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Chetan Kumar Masram sir, for your motivating speech and motivating words. Thank you very much for all the 5 days you were present virtually with us, and after all the sessions you called me and motivate me for doing good work. Thank you very much, sir. Dear all participants of this virtual participants of this faculty development program played a very important role in this HDP. Hence, their feedbacks are very valuable to us. So I am inviting participants for feedback, but the first name is Dr. Sheetal Rathod. Anyone can give their feedback. The time will be 1 minute only. Dr. Sheetal Rathod, and after that, Dr. Ruchi Chaudhary, two are invited for their feedbacks one by one. Are you there, Sheetal Rathod? Dr. Sheetal Rathod, are you there? Please. No, you are not audible. No, you are not audible. Dr. Ruchi, are you there? Dr. Ruchi Chaudhary?
Yes, ma'am.
So you go first for your feedback, then we will again connect with Sheetal Rathod.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much. Just give me a minute, ma'am.
Yeah. After Ruchi, you will join Sheetal again.
So good afternoon, one and all present here. It's seriously my privilege and honor to give the vote of thanks here and to just give my feedback here. It's really, I mean, I can't tell the way the whole, the FDP was conducted, the 5 days FDP program. It was out of the lot. It was mind-blowing session, the way Dr. Deshpande sir has conducted, the way today Jyoti ma'am has conducted, then Dr. Like there are n number of faculties speakers, eminent personalities. They showed, they enlightened us with their experiences, with their knowledge, and it's really mind-blowing. And the way all these, I mean, Sampada ma'am conducted the whole session so nicely, flawlessly, no flaws, no technical glitches, nothing in between. So thank you so much, ma'am, for giving, in fact, for giving us this opportunity to join this FDP program, where we are really so much, what you can say, so much updated. Every session was a proper complete package, and we learned so much from these sessions, ma'am. Thank you so much. And thank you so much, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, SN Moore College of Arts and Science, and Srimati GD Saraf College of Science, Tumsa. Thank you so much, everyone in the organizing team, for this wonderful and flawless program. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Ruchi Chaudhary, for your wonderful feedback. Sheetal, are you ready for that, or we can try to connect? Otherwise, we will go forward. No, you have some network problem. Okay, any other from participant?
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, you are audible now.
Hello.
You are audible.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Sorry for the disconnection.
No, it's okay.
Okay, ma'am. Firstly, thanks to all of you, and good afternoon to everyone. Actually, interdisciplinary 5 days faculty development program is organized on view of need of innovation in curriculum and teaching learning process in higher education. It was a great, exceptional experience because of new mode of online. I think teaching is also the aspects of learning. Among 5 days, our experts also focus on these views, especially Dr. Leena Gahane ma'am. She was a focus on NAC curriculum activities. It was outstanding, and I think it was one of the best lecture in my 10 years experience, teaching experience actually. And I am also thankful to Dr. Mahindra Sirsat sir. He appeals to youngster for research, and sir share his experience fabulous. Atmosphere is different, technology is knocking to doors, so need to use technology in our teaching process. Meanwhile, experts are fantastic. 5 days, actually 5 days taught me what are the good qualities of experts, how to share knowledge with trainees. And it was a fantastic experience for me. Overall 5 days FDP program, fabulous. Thank you to all experts for their valuable experience shared with us, and especially thankful to organizing committee and especially coordinator committee like Dr. Bharti Katikar ma'am and dear Dr. Sampada Nasir ma'am. Ma'am, you are a really graceful and for this FDP program. Thank you to everyone. On behalf of our participants also, thanks to everyone. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Sheetal Rathod, for your wonderful feedback. In text box, box I have received. Dr. Ruchi.
बस मैम एक छोटी सी चीज मैं ऐड करना चाहती हूँ. सो सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट यू मैम. एक बिल्कुल अप्रोप्रिएट चीज एकदम बस उस समय एकदम से मैं कहीं इंगेज थी एंड सडनली आपने नाम लिया तो मैं मैम एक छोटी सी चीज बोलना चाहूंगी. यूं ही नहीं मिलती राही को मंजिल, यूं ही नहीं मिलती राही को मंजिल. एक जुनून सा दिल में जगाना होता है, एक जुनून सा दिल में जगाना होता है. पूछा चिड़िया से कैसा बना आशिया, बोली भरनी पड़ती है उड़ान बार बार, भरनी पड़ती है उड़ान बार बार. तिनका तिनका उठाना होता है, तिनका तिनका उठाना होता है मैम. और आपने ये पूरा इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करके जो एक एक तिनका, एक एक छोटी छोटी चीजें आपने स्पीकर्स, एमिनेंट पर्सनालिटीज, पार्टिसिपेंट, फ्लॉलेस, लाइक वोट ऑफ थैंक्स, एवरीथिंग वाज अ माइंड ब्लोइंग थिंग. सो आपके लिए ये आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए परफेक्टली फिट बैठता है. दैट तिनका तिनका उठाना पड़ता है टू अचीव समथिंग, और आशियां बनाना पड़ता है. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruchi. We will continue this feedback after our address of chief guest also. So dear participants, now it's time to introduce our chief guest of valedictory address, Dr. Urmila Dabir ma'am. Before I invite her, for her introduction, I invite Dr. Anil Dodewa sir for the invitation, for the introduction of Dr. Urmila Dabir.
Thank
Over
you,
to you, Doctor.
I'm greatly honored to introduce a very dynamic and academically active personality who is with us today on this occasion. She is none other than Dr. Urmila Dabir. Dr. Urmila Dabir ma'am is working as principal and head of the Department of English at Rajkumar Keval Ramani Kanya Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. She has more than 30 years of teaching experience at both UG and PG level. She is one among the most active academicians in the field of higher education and research as well. Dr. Urmila Dabir is actively working on different committees in different universities. To mention a few, she is the chairman of BOS English in Rashtrasanta Tukdoji Maharaj, Nagpur University, Nagpur. In addition to it, she is also working on different committees of the university. It is because of her important contribution she was awarded with Best NSS Program Officer. She was also awarded with Best Teacher Award and Dr. K. Krishna Kumar Gold Medal for Best Principal in 2019. Her contribution is noteworthy in the field of research as well. She has 7 books to her credit and has published several research papers at national and international level. She is the editor of Synacle, a peer-reviewed research journal. Her biodata is too big to read out in a few minutes. I hope these few words are enough to know her well. We are really fortunate enough to have such a lady with us today on this occasion. On behalf of Mahila Mahavidyalaya Nandanvan Nagpur and SN More College, Tumsar, I welcome her to this valedictory function of 7 days faculty development program. For further proceeding, over to Dr. Sampada Nasiri ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Dodewal, sir. Now I request Dr. Urmila Dabir, madam, for the valedictory address as a chief guest. Dr. Urmila Dabir.
Thank you very much. Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, Principal, Mahila Mahavidyalaya, Nagpur. Dr. Chetan Masram, Principal, SN More College, Tumsar. The course coordinators of this FDP program, and all the dear participants. A very good afternoon to all. I deem it my privilege to be a part of this valedictory function of the faculty development program, which was jointly organized by Mahila Mahavidyalaya and SN More College, Tumsar. I think such programs are the need of the hour to keep the teaching faculty abreast of the fast developing changes in the field of education. Because change is inevitable and field of education cannot remain unchanged. I was really impressed that you have covered a wide range of topics, subjects, from new education policy to value education, entrepreneurship, and so on. These varied topics delivered by erudite galaxy of learned speakers must have definitely enlightened you all, and also you must have got the food for thought. The presentation of Dr. Vinayak Deshpande and Dr. Prantik Banerjee, I think, were the icing on the cake. We are facing a lot of challenges. Challenges because of pandemic, challenges because of several changes that are there in the teaching field, teaching arena, we can say. And these challenges and change have to be accepted, overcome by the teachers, and FDPs, I think, are an answer to that. Traditional methods of teaching are no longer acceptable. They are no longer interesting, nor do they encourage the students, and they cannot be a part of learning process now because they're all one way. And communication is needed which has to be two-way to make a better understanding of what is being taught to the student. The students of this era, we have to accept, are more informed as they are more techno-savvy and have more information at the click of the button. So it is a challenge for the teachers, not the students, to be a step ahead of this generation, which I feel is a fast changing generation. Innovative methods of teaching are needed, and these innovations are to be made by the teachers as per their subjects, as per the curriculum, and as per the topics that they're going to take. So teaching learning process has to be more and more innovative to encourage them and to make this process more loving and more fruitful and more enjoyable. Using innovative methods is not so easy. It is a very crucial skill for teachers because you have to be on your toes. You have to always devise something new for the students which will interest them. So it is indeed a very crucial skill for the teachers, I would like to say. Scientific research has shown that innovative teaching methods approaches can significantly enhance the students' learning process. Because something new always interests, it generates creativity, critical thinking. And this attitude, this environment, which is change for them, certainly will develop a new vision for learning and enlightenment also. And these innovations are to be made as per the environment. Whether you are teaching a child in rural setting or in urban setting. So innovations in teaching learning process has to be as per the environment, as per the setting. I think project-based learning, promoting critical thinking are also ways of teaching learning process. Now curriculum has to undergo a change. We cannot teach the age-long curriculum because there are so many changes that are happening in the environment, in the circumstances, in the different subjects which are being taught. So it is inevitable, and curriculum plays a vital role. So it has the innovations that you have in teaching learning has to be tailor-made as per the need of the curriculum. Curriculum which is there has encouraged the students to use online tools, multimedia, software. So how you design the curriculum, whether they have hands-on lab experiments. So all these things have to be designed when you design the curriculum. Even many things have to be thought before you design the curriculum. What should be there in the curriculum actually? Is it necessary at this particular time? Is it actually with the time that they are being taught, or it is too advanced, or it is too backward? So all these things have to be seen when you design a curriculum. Another buzzword of this particular, I think, era is outcome learning. Only teaching the students and leaving them cannot be done now. What is the outcome of the program? When a student enters a particular program, what has he learned? At the end of that outcome is very, very important. Whether he has learned a particular skill, whether he is capable of employability, entrepreneurship, what is the outcome of that particular program? And I think this lies, or this onus lies with the teacher. And therefore, such programs are very, very important. Today, the teacher is facing multiple challenges, and these programs play a vital role in giving answers. You had galaxy of speakers, and these speakers certainly has given you a new vision. What should be value education? What should be moral education? How can we provide entrepreneurship to our students? What is there in new education policy? What are the challenges? What are the issues of new education policy? What is the role of teacher in new education policy? How to develop a child to acquire different skills? All these, I think, questions must have been raised in your minds, and the speakers must have definitely given you these answers. I was more interested to know the gist of the, I think, the speeches or the presentation that the speakers have given. So it would have given me an idea what actually has been delivered to you. So this gist I was expecting in the valedictory program. I congratulate both the colleges, and it is under the IQAC. IQAC plays a vital role in enhancing quality education because that is the major role of IQAC. I have seen in many colleges that everything that comes under the sky is there in IQAC. No, that is not the role of IQAC. The major role of IQAC is enhancing the quality of education. And this particular program is the role of IQAC, which perfectly fits into it. It is a tailor-made role. Collaborative activity indeed is very, very important because it brings both the colleges together. Tumsar and Nagpur have come together. You have a different environment. Here they have a different environment. And speakers from all the places could come because of the online platform that was there. So we can say this is a blessing in disguise that we are meeting online. This is technology which has saved us, and it has come as a savior so that we can move forward. We have not become static, we are moving forward. And this is the change which is required even in the field of education, I feel. So collaborative activities indeed are very, very important and vital. And it saves many things. It enhances everything. And it also gives a lot of encouragement to the teachers who are there. And sharing, I think, is very, very important, whatever it is there. Whether you share your knowledge, whether you share your resources, sharing is a very, very important quality. And collaborative activities do bring in all these things. In the end, I would like to say that the program was very successful because you had a very overwhelming feedback from the participants also. And feedback from the participants is a true certificate for any course, any program that we organize. So once again, I congratulate the principals of both the colleges, the coordinators, IQAC coordinators of both the colleges, the organizers, and especially all the participants who have taken keen interest in attending this program. I wish success for all the ventures that these two colleges will take up in future. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and for your valedictory address. It was really motivating us to organize such more type of programs under the banner of IQAC and collaborative efforts. Thank you very much, ma'am. It is my humble request to Dr. Urmila Dabir, ma'am, to stay with us for another 5 minutes for the inauguration of Journal of Research Papers published in this faculty development program.
Sure. Congratulations for that also.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much. So, dear friends, it gives me great pleasure to share with you all that we have received 50 research papers and articles for publication, and we will publish it in this valedictory function as it is a virtual. Otherwise, it was at the hands of chief guests, but virtually we will try to publish, show this through link. So, I request Dr. Anil Dodewar for the sharing screen and publishing of this research paper in the journal, that is UPA.
Thank you, madam. मी सर्वप्रथम UPA नॅशनल इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी जर्नलच्या वतीने दोनही महाविद्यालयाचे या ठिकाणी आभार व्यक्त करतो. दोनही महाविद्यालयांनी महिला महाविद्यालय नंदनवरचे प्राचार्य डॉक्टर वंदना बागडीकर, SN मोर महाविद्यालयाचे प्राचार्य मसराम सर आणि फॅकल्टी डेव्हलपमेंट प्रोग्रामच्या कोऑर्डिनेटर्स डॉक्टर संपदा नासिर आणि डॉक्टर भारती काटेकाळे मॅडमनी या जर्नल वरती विश्वास दाखवून या ठिकाणी आलेल्या सर्व संशोधन लेखांचं प्रकाशन UPA इंटरडिसिप्लिनरी जर्नल मध्ये करण्याचं ठरवलं. त्याबद्दल मी सर्वप्रथम त्या दोन्ही महाविद्यालयाचे या ठिकाणी आभार व्यक्त करतो. मित्रांनो, आपण पहिल्या लॉट मध्ये जे 40 पेपर प्राप्त झाले होते त्या 40ही पेपरचं या ठिकाणी प्रकाशन केलेलं आहे. आणि ते जर्नल किंवा ते पेपर कुठल्या लिंक वरती उपलब्ध आहेत ते मी या ठिकाणी सांगू इच्छितो. upa.org.in ही वेबसाईट आहे आणि त्या वेबसाईट वरती हा सदर अंक प्रकाशित करण्यात आलेला आहे. या वेबसाईट वरती गेल्यानंतर 3rd नंबरचा मेन्यू आहे ई जर्नलचा. त्या ई जर्नल मध्ये 2 सब मेनू आहेत. त्यापैकी पहिला जो मेनू सब मेनू आहे तो रेग्युलर इश्यू आणि आपल्या या फॅकल्टी डेव्हलपमेंट प्रोग्राम च्या निमित्तानं आलेले सर्व पेपर ई जर्नल इश्यू 9 मध्ये प्रकाशित करण्यात आलेले आहे. तेव्हा ई जर्नल या मेनू मध्ये जाऊन रेग्युलर इश्यू या सब मेन्यू मध्ये जाऊन ई जर्नल इश्यू 9 या सब मेन्यू वरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर आपल्याला आपलं जर्नल हे ओपन होईल आहे. इथे कव्हर पेज आहे. कव्हर पेजच्या नंतर सर्व एडिटोरियल बोर्डची वगैरे सर्वांची नावं दिलेली आहे आणि इथे कंटेंट लिस्ट आहे. तर या कंटेंट लिस्ट मध्ये आपण 3 भाग केलेले आहेत. सेक्शन इंग्लिश, सेक्शन मराठी आणि सेक्शन हिंदी असे 3 सेक्शन मध्ये हे पेपर्स विभागले गेलेले आहेत. तर इथे तुम्हाला ही जी PDF ची टाईल दिसते या टाईल वरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर त्या पर्टिक्युलर व्यक्तीचा रिसर्च पेपर ओपन होतो. इथून तुम्ही तो पेपर डाउनलोड करू शकता आणि आपल्या फ्युचर रेफरन्स साठी तो सेव्ह करून ठेवू शकता. शिवाय ह्याच व्यक्तीचं सर्टिफिकेट इथे समोर देण्यात आलेलं आहे. या टाईल्स वरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर ते सर्टिफिकेट डाउनलोड होईल. सेकंड सेक्शन आहे मराठीचा. इथे मराठीचे सर्व जे संशोधन लेख आहेत ते दिलेले आहेत. याच्या समोर PDF ची टाईल आहे. इथे जर क्लिक केलं तर आपल्याला पेपर ओपन होईल. याच्या समोरच सर्टिफिकेटची एक टाईल दिलेली आहे, लिंक दिलेली आहे. याच्यावर क्लिक केल्यानंतर अशा प्रकारे तुमचं सर्टिफिकेट ओपन होईल आणि हे सर्टिफिकेट तुम्ही सेव्ह करून ठेवू शकता. JPG फॉर्मॅट मध्ये राहील. अशा प्रकारे फ्युचर रेफरन्स साठी ठेवू शकता. शिवाय हे जर्नल 15 वर्ष ह्या वेबसाईट वरती राहणार आहे आणि इथं तुमचे पेपर्स आणि सर्व सर्टिफिकेट्स कायमस्वरूपी उपलब्ध असणार आहेतच. अशा प्रकारे पहिल्या लॉट मध्ये डॉक्टर संपदा नासरी यांनी आम्हाला 41 पेपर दिलेले होते. ते सर्व पेपर या ठिकाणी पब्लिश करण्यात आलेले आहे आणि उर्वरित 7, 8, 10 पेपर जे काही असतील ते लवकरच या ठिकाणी प्रकाशित करण्यात येईल. आपल्या PBS च्या दृष्टिकोनातून किंवा नॅकच्या दृष्टिकोनातून आपल्याला जर्नलचं कव्हर पेज आणि कंटेंट पेज लागत असतं. तेव्हा तिथे एक बटन देण्यात आली आहे, प्रिंट कव्हर अँड कंटेंट पेज. ह्या बटन वरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर ह्या जर्नलचं कव्हर पेज आणि कंटेंट पेज या ठिकाणी प्रिंट साठी उपलब्ध होतं आणि अशा प्रकारे हे तुम्ही कव्हर पेज आणि कंटेंट पेज सुद्धा या ठिकाणी प्रिंट करू शकता आणि सोबत पेपर अटॅच करून आपण नॅकच्या दृष्टिकोनातून किंवा PBS च्या दृष्टिकोनातून या सर्व गोष्टींचं रेकॉर्ड आपण प्रोड्यूस करू शकतो. तर परत एकदा मी सांगतो की हा जो जर्नल आहे हा जर्नल upa.org.in या वेबसाईट वरती प्रकाशित करण्यात आलेला आहे. त्या जर्नलच्या प्रत्यक्ष लिंकवर जाण्यासाठी 3rd नंबरच्या मेन्यूवरती क्लिक करून रेग्युलर इश्यू आणि ई जर्नल इश्यू 9 वरती क्लिक केल्यानंतर ते जर्नल ओपन होतं आणि प्रत्येकाने कंटेंट लिस्ट मध्ये आपलं जे नाव आहे त्या नावासमोर असलेल्या टाईल वरती क्लिक करून पेपर डाउनलोड करून घेऊ शकता आणि सर्टिफिकेट सुद्धा डाउनलोड करून घेऊ शकता. तर मला जर्नल बद्दल थोडी माहिती देण्यासाठी संपदा नासरी मॅडमनी जी संधी दिली त्याबद्दल त्यांचे आभार आणि दोन्ही महाविद्यालयाचे पुनश्च आभार. थँक्यू मॅडम. ओव्हर टू यू.
Thank you, Dr. Anil Dodewar, sir. Thank you, Dr. Urmila Dabir ma'am. It is my kind request to Urmila Dabir ma'am to declare that this journal is published at national level.
It's my privilege to announce that this particular journal has been published at national level. Congratulations to the both colleges and all the participants who have contributed in. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much for sparing your time, valuable time. So, dear all, we are at the end of this FDP. It is my duty to propose formal vote of thanks. From last 2 to 3 months, myself and Dr. Bharti Katekhai was working on the organization of this faculty development program. In this venture, we have received very important guidance from Principal of Mahila Mahavidyalay, Dr. Vandana Bhagdikar, and Principal of SNM College of Arts and Science and GD Sarab Science College. My sincere gratitudes towards them. It is because of their support only we successfully conducted this national level interdisciplinary faculty development program. So thanks to both of you. the person behind supporting and helping us in providing information about eminent facilitators from other universities, especially from Jammu University, from Gujarat University and Marathwada University, is Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav, Dean Interdisciplinary. My sincere thanks to Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am. Our sincere thanks to Dr. Kalpana Pandey, President of Shikshan Manch, for supporting us in this venture. I extend my thanks to Dr. Shubhangi Dange ma'am, former chairperson, Board of Studies, Home Economics, for her support and help. Always she's with us all the time. It gives me for inaugural session of this FDP, Dr. Shashikala Vanjari, Honorable Vice Chancellor of SNDT Women's University, was the chief guest. My heartfelt thanks to her for accepting our invitation and graced the function. I would like to express my profound gratitude Dr. Leena Gahane, Deputy Advisor NAC, Bangalore, for accepting our invitation as a keynote addressee and enlightened the participants by excellent presentation. I would like to express my gratitude towards Dr. Sanjay Dudhe, Honorable Pro Vice Chancellor, to share his address as a guest of honor by connecting with us through video message. My sincere thanks to Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav ma'am for accepting our invitation as a special guest in the inaugural session and guiding the participants. Our thanks to Honorable President of Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal for his presidential address in the inauguration program. Our thanks to Dr. Mrs. Chafikar Madam, also Secretary of Sri Shikshan Prasarak Mandal. I would like to thank Gondia Education Society's Honorable President, Mrs. Varsha Praful Patel Ma'am, Honorable Secretary Shri Rajendra Jain Sir, Honorable Director Shri Nikhil Jain Sir, for supporting in this event. The facilitators played a very important role in the success of this faculty development program. All the facilitators given excellent presentations. I would like to express my thanks to Dr. Vinayak Deshpande, Dr. Rajeshri Vaishnav, Dr. Prantik Banerjee, Dr. Rajiv Ratan Sharma, Dr. Mahendra Shirsat, Dr. Avdesh Jha, Dr. Jyoti Patil, Dr. Shishir Parsapure. Thanks to all for facilitating our virtual participants in a very, very effective manner. I like to express my sincere thanks to Dr. Urmila Dabir for accepting our invitation as a chief guest for this valedictory program and guiding the participants and for the announcement of paper publication of National Journal of UPA. Thank you very much, ma'am. I also wish to express my gratitudes towards all paper presenters, participants who sent papers for publications and for attending this 5 days faculty development program virtually, interacting with resource person in a very good manner. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the participants. I am also very grateful to faculty of Mahila Mahavidyalaya and SN More College of Arts and Commerce and GD Saraf Science College, Tumsar, for their active participation and support. My special thanks to Dr. Anil Dodewar, IQSC coordinator, for assisting me in technical support, YouTube streaming for all 5 days. Thank you very much, sir. My special thanks to Dr. Radhesham Dipte, IQSC coordinator of SN More College, Tumsar, for his presence for all the sessions and cooperation in handling session. Thank you, Dr. Radhesham Dipte, sir. Thanks to members of organizing committee, advisory committee, peer reviewed committee for their consistent support. Finally, my special thanks to Dr. Bharti Katekhai, coordinator, for being supporting all the time in organization of faculty development program. Though she was unable to join us for this faculty development program as she was affected by the virus, I missed her every time, every minute. My message to her that to get well soon. My thanks to Mr. Girish Bavankule, our computer, for the designing of our brochure, for making very effective brochures of faculty development program. Thanks to all those who intentionally or intentionally, directly or indirectly support us in successfully organization of this faculty development program. So with this, I declare that with the permission of chair, I declared that this program concludes here. Have a great day ahead. Stay safe, stay healthy, and goodbye. Many of the participants text me for feedback. So with the permission of both the principals, if they allow, so we can go forward, or we can stop here. Participants ने काफी मैसेज के. स्नेहा बोरकर मैम, आर यू देयर? सांची बोरकर मैम, डॉक्टर सांची बोरकर. ओके, आई थिंक हाँ मैडम आप है, आपने मुझे मैसेज किया था इसलिए मैं. ओके, हाँ, आई थिंक शी इज नॉट देयर. उन्होंने 2-3 बार मैसेज डाला कि उनको कहना है कुछ करके. Okay, so with the permission of chair, I declare this program is over. Thanks to one and all. Thank you very much.